fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination with the best bar in Cary. Experience the ultimate thrill with 16 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Apex Racing Lab brings the adrenaline-pumping world of sim racing to life. It's the perfect place for your next birthday party or corporate event. Ready to race? Head to Apex Racing Lab in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com.
If you see a student being bullied, be supportive. Ask if they're okay and invite them to join you. You'll be an ally and you can make a friend. Friendship! Visit StopBullyingSpeakUp.com and join Cartoon Network to redraw your world without bullying.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. What a spectacular afternoon. A high of 75 with sunny skies and low humidity at the end of May. Wow. Another cool night. We drop into the low 50s tonight. And then Saturday is spectacular as well. 77 degrees with sunshine and low humidity. Sunday in the evening and overnight we'll see rain, but it's trending a bit drier from Monday with just a chance of showers in the morning.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 134 points to 41,724.
Now Andrei Svechnikov trying to clear, kept in. Florida with a chance, and they score! First shot of the game. Backhands one behind the net. Stepping out with it. Verhaeghe with a chance, and he's knocked down, and they'll score. Clock still in the Kane zone. Verhaeghe drags. Another block there. This time Martinuk. Another chance, and this time Verhaeghe will score. A chance for Lusterinen out in front, and they'll score. He throws it across, and Bennett lets it go, and they score. A power play goal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As you just heard right there, last night didn't go fantastic for the Carolina Hurricanes.
It sucked.
There you go. And if you're anything like me, when things are not going your way, you need to touch grass, you need to get out into the sun, you need to take in some baseball.
All right.
So we brought today's show out to the Holly Springs Salamanders opener, where they're going to take on the Tri-City Chili Peppers later on today. At 6:30 scheduled opening pitch, and the players are just getting started. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see them right behind us getting warmed up. And I think it's important. I think it's important to worry about your mindset, your well-being after a game like last night. Go do something you enjoy. If you're a Canes fan out there,
go enjoy this wonderful weather that we have going on here in North Carolina.
Beautiful weather. Maybe that's the real, people always point out the tailgating weather for Canes games, how awesome it is. Maybe the real benefit of the good weather is if things go sour, you can go outside and do something else the next day. You don't have to stay inside with a parka on like you do in other markets that play hockey. So welcome to Ting Stadium, where we'll be broadcasting for the entirety of today. Holly Springs Salamanders, check them out. We'll give you more information as the show moves along. But yesterday, going into and the day before going into Game 2, I did request some optimism from Canes fans. just one game. I can write off one game. Game one wasn't beautiful, but there actually were some things that you could argue they did well, even though the final score might not have indicated. Yeah, we have ourselves a trend now. It's harder to write off 2 games. It's harder to write off a game like Game 2. We called it a must-win game going into yesterday, so something has to be removed from the table, and now the goals change, right? Now you go from, win the series, chase the cup, full steam ahead to, this 0 for 14 streak in the Eastern Conference Finals is getting referenced a lot, and it might be the move to just make sure you win a game and end that going into the offseason.
For real.
Just give us one, play at home again, right? You have to win one on the road just to come back and play Game 5 at home. Those start to be the goals, the aspirations after a game like Game 2. And then you ask yourself why. What happened? Actually, that might have been that's like the all-time league leader in fans in the parking lot, in the car, waiting to leave, stuck in traffic, just looking around going, what happened in there? Because if we're being real, Florida's a very good team, right?
Florida's a great team.
Losing to the defending champs who have gotten better, obviously, is not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, competitors will never be happy with a loss. There's no moral victories. But losing to that team, which is obviously a wagon, is not the worst thing in the world. Losing like that requires some real, how did we get here moments. Like freeze frame. Bet you're wondering how we got here. 5-0. Well, let's look at what we said the key to the game was yesterday. It actually, we didn't realize the type of foreshadowing that we were doing on the show yesterday. It's like the beginning of a horror movie, right, where everything seems good and you're talking happy, and then by the end you hear those happy thoughts and it's all been twisted, right? The M. Night Shyamalan. During the show yesterday, the theme that we stumbled into was the Canes had to be themselves, right? In Game 1, even the things they did well, it felt like they were trying to do something that they weren't. They weren't driving the tempo. They were trying to out-Panthers the Panthers. Mm-hmm. And so we made it, hey, you got to play Canes hockey. You got to be yourself. Don't try to do something that's not you. Don't panic and try to change up what you do. Well, I have some stats here in front of me. At 45 minutes of play, so this is 5 minutes into the third period, I looked at where we sit on Media Row. They have a little scoreboard that just tallies shots on goal. And I looked up, and the Canes had yet to break double digits. 5 minutes into the third period, They sat at 9 shots on goal. Getting a ton of shots on goal is the Canes' thing. It's what they do. It's what, quite frankly, other teams make fun of you for doing. You're the shot merchants. You are all quantity, no quality, all about shots. Oh, you're just throwing them at the net. We defend that style of play because I think it works if you do it the right way. We defend your shot volume, get pucks on net, get pucks on net, get pucks on net. So going into a game where we thought the key was be yourself, and then you're sitting 45 minutes into the game and you have 9 shots, and that's your thing, you did not play Canes hockey. Mm-mm. And we could go on. There's more than Ryan Henkel tweet covers the team. Last night, the Hurricanes had just 17 shots on goal, which is the least amount ever for a game in the Rod Brindamore era. So if Rod Brindamore brought in that system, and it's one that he worked in as a player, and there's, he took it maybe a step further than some of the other coaches that run it. That's the least ever for a Rod Brindamore coached Canes team. Just the 10th time under Brindamore that the Canes have been held below 20 shots.
Wild.
And it came in a game where we made the emphasis on you got to be you. You got to do your thing. Don't let them take you out of your identity. Your own fans were chanting, shoot the puck at a team whose thing is shooting the puck.
Yeah, well, it was criticized for shot volume.
It was so outside of your character. It was so outside of what you do that your own fans were basically chanting, be yourself, be yourself. at you. It's
Do you?
And it's, I mean, I don't know, it's the equivalent of like Steph Curry deciding today I'm going to be a dunker. It's like, no, shoot the three. It's what you do. It's what you're best at. It's what makes you you. So that right there, to me, very early on, and actually it starts in the first 2 minutes of game one with Aho passing up the shot on the 2-on-1, and they don't even get a shot off on his attempted pass to Jarvis. And it happens time and time and time again. We saw power plays where it felt like they thought the rule was if we pass it along the blue line just barely inside the zone 10 times, we get a point. It was frustrating to watch. And the irony of it is, right, we're all sitting up there on media row, and it was like, I don't know, we were all alarms set to different times. Or like we all snooze, and your snooze alarm goes off at 6 minutes and mine goes off at 8, because all you could do is sit there and you'd be watching, and two people down would go, shoot the puck.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the one that frustrated me. And then a minute and a half later, I would go, oh, you got to shoot that. And then 30 seconds later, somebody down the left would say, you have to shoot that one too. Right? And it was just every single time a different person at a different point in time. Brutal to watch. Let's hear what it was like from the inside, from those on the ice. Starting with the captain, Jordan Stahl. After a loss, he's going to be the mouthpiece of the team. He was asked if there's anything to take away from game two.
No, not really. That was pretty much an ass whooping, and it's all the way through the lineup from goaltender to the forwards. It's got to be better, and I don't know what we were expecting tonight, especially to start. It was just wasn't good enough. They came at us right away and got a couple quick ones, and you're behind, and kind of got worse, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, summed it up right there, that first sentence. That's it. Yeah.
Pretty much an ass whooping.
Yeah.
Do you know what's actually frustrating to even hear that? They never, like, there is a energy that changes when you realize you're getting your tail whipped, where you become more angry. You become, like, I never even really felt that, right? It pushed the envelope, right? Maybe you start a little bit of shoving, or maybe you're like, it never felt like they got to the desperate point you get to when you're in a must-win game and you're getting your tail kicked. There were a few moments, and ironically, it's a rookie. There were a few moments where it felt like Logan Stankoven was trying to say, all right, if we need a spark, I'll be the spark.
Yeah.
And they would come and go, and nobody else would build off it. He got a good look at off a rebound that he kind of created early on. And then it was probably second period. I don't remember exactly when. He tried to get face-to-face with Marchand, which would have been kind of like, lower chest to face. But he was willing to go after it, and it just, nobody was there to build off of it. So I'll give him some credit for trying. But it's like, oh, so you knew when Jordan Stahl says, it was an ass whipping, I'm going like, oh, so you knew. Okay. Because there was no urgency out of it. And if you knew it was going on, why didn't we see something different? Why didn't we see you pull out all the tricks? Rod Brindamore, after the game, basically said, not even worry about the full game. They just have to find out a way to win a period. Here's Rod Brindamore.
Obviously, we got to just figure out how to win a period. I think we came out with the right intentions, but it was trying to do too much. And then we're not doing the things that we do as a team that normally helps us. I didn't know what I was watching in the first period, and that didn't go well. So, I always said the other day, the margin here is tight. Like, we're not going to beat this team if we're not on the same page. And tonight, for whatever reason, I think, like I said, the intentions were good. Everyone's trying, okay, I'm going to do this, but it's not how we do it. And it just backfired, and then, like you put it, probably as good as you did. That's exactly how that game went.
And I want to be clear here. I don't even want to say it, but I guess we have to. I'm not challenging their effort. I believe they are good hockey players that try hard and want to win.
Yeah.
I don't think that is any kind of a consolation. everyone in the NHL in the Eastern Conference Finals is going to leave the ice tired. Like, I'm not excited for the effort. It has to be about the execution. It has to be about the decision making. It has to be about the urgency or going above and beyond. It can't just be, hey, they tried hard. But yes, I guess technically they did.
Yeah, but like Rod said, we can wrap on this. Is the fact that the intentions were good, but the players clearly got away from themselves. And there's one player in particular that Rob Brindamore was asked about post-game, Andrei Svechnikov, that, he was on his own page. And guess what? Andrei Svechnikov directly resulted in 3 goals in the first period and for the other team.
Those questions were written after the first goal allowed, right at the beginning of the game. All right, we got to ask about Svech. And we will ask about Svech when we come back after this, right here, Ting Stadium, home of the Holly Springs Salamanders opener, coming up at 6:30 today. We'll be here for the entirety of the show. Back after this.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item. Current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Find what you love, love what you find at Total Wine & More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. And love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
NASCAR on Prime kicks off this Memorial Day weekend with one of the crown jewels of racing, the Coca-Cola 600.
Green flag flying here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
600 miles, 400 laps. This is where legends are made and heroes are honored. And for the first time ever, you can stream it on Prime.
1,000 times, let's do it.
See what it takes to finish first. Don't miss the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Calling all Caniacs. Come watch the Eastern Conference Finals at Carolina Ale House. As the official Canes road game HQ, Carolina Ale House is hosting viewing parties for away games. Join us for indoor-outdoor viewing parties at the Cary and Garner locations for Game 3 and at the Cary location for Game 4. Bring a lawn chair, enjoy food and beers from the outdoor bar, and watch on our enormous TV. Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes to learn more or keep an eye on our social media. Ale yeah! And go Canes!
Now Andrei Svechnikov trying to clear, kept in. Florida with a chance, and they score! First shot of the game, and the former Cane farmhand, Gustav Forsling, makes it 1-0.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes down 2-0, Eastern Conference Finals. Both games at home for the Canes. Florida Panthers dominance in the two games, as bitter as that is to say. I'm Tim Donnelly. Dennis Cox here with us. Max back at the studio, keeping us up and running. We are at Ting Stadium out here in Holly Springs for the Holly Springs Salamanders minor league baseball team in the Coastal Plains League, Wood Bat League for the college kids out there, staying loose, staying ready in the off season.
By the way, this park is as good as it gets for like a Coastal Plain League. Like there's minor league parks that can't top this.
They are taking some BP behind us. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, they have a whole host of games. Let me go ahead and bring it up for you real quick. This weekend, they have the Salamanders opening night versus the Chili Peppers, which is the Tri-City Chili Peppers. That's at 6:30 tonight. Tomorrow, it's book drive night.
Oh, there you go.
Salamanders versus the Pirates at 6:30. Then on the 25th, which is Sunday, Salamanders versus the Coconuts. That'll be a 5:05 Sunday game. And then on Memorial Day, Monday, the long weekend, they're playing the Stars.
Dallas?
I don't believe so, but who knows? I can tell you this. They're playing the Stars. Miko's going to wear a couple.
Yes, exactly. Someone's going to throw at Miko. He's going to get on base a few times the hard way.
That's at 5:05 on Monday. So it is a full weekend of Salamanders baseball here in Ting Stadium. And we'll be here on 99.9 The Fan for the entirety of the show, giving them all the love that they deserve. In the meantime, let's get one of the guys running things here.
We'll delay our Svetch convo for a second here.
That we have the commissioner here. Pop on.
Commissioner.
You're going to have to introduce yourself to the people. And nobody is more excited that this pop-in just happened than Andrei Svechnikov, because we were about to have a real honest conversation about him. But instead, we're going to talk opening day baseball. We have the commish. Is that what we have going on here? Let's get your microphone up there. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Yes, I'm the commissioner of the Coastal Plain League, Chip Allen. How are you?
Chip Allen, nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you guys. Thanks for being out here.
How exciting is opening day? I have to imagine a ton of work has gone into this one.
Oh, man, every opening day is different and exciting, and just a ton of work goes into it, and you get to see all the people come out and remember their love for the Salamanders and how exciting this is. That's the joy in their faces is what makes it all worth it.
All right, let's talk Coastal Plains League, because just getting like this atmosphere, first of all, is awesome, and the affordability, and we're seeing all of the things that it offers. But when it comes to selecting the players, picking the level, who gets these opportunities, how does everything go into that?
So our teams actually go out and they draft and they research and figure out who they want to come here, and they'll talk to coaches and they build those relationships up over the years. And so you really want, a lot of those relationships with Power 4 schools and other schools. And so it really depends on your coach on those relationships and how and who they get. So
they are obviously the college kids are going to be in the off season trying to get some wood bat reps and things like that. How are the scouts coming through? Like give us the details.
We get a lot of scouts coming through. We'll get a lot of scouts at our All-Star event, which we'll have down in Macon, Georgia this year. A lot of years we'll play the national team over in Cary, and so a lot of scouts for that. But on a regular basis, we do get scouts. I don't know if we'll have any here tonight. Just opening night. Let
them get the jitters out, right? We want to get a real feel for them.
We'll get all this under control. But
I said, well, they're probably also out at like conference tournaments and things along those lines as well. Because I know Durham Bulls Athletic Park, there's the ACC tournament and all that going on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of baseball happening right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the area. I have a question. Speaking of the players, obviously there's going to be an influx of more players once teams get through regionals and all that stuff. But what's the living situation like? Because you get players coming from really all across the country, whether they come here to Greenville, whatever they might be. What's the living situation like? How do people find housing? Like, are they staying with families? How does that work?
Yeah, so this is one of the coolest things about the Coastal Plain League and a lot of summer ball is you live with host families.
Okay.
And we have people that have gone on to the majors that still are in contact with their host family, still talk to them, still text them. They still go out to games. And so they build this really cool relationship over the summer, and it just lasts a lifetime for a lot of these guys. And that's really one of the better kind of side effects of of college baseball in the summer.
Chip Allen, Coastal Plains League Commissioner, joining us here in Ting Stadium, the home of the Holly Springs Salamanders, where they're opening up their season in a little over 3 hours from now. Alexia Jorge.
Yes.
There is a women's player joining the Salamanders this year. From a league perspective, how cool is that? How does that develop? Is there approvals necessary? If you go to the Salamanders website, it's one of the first things they're talking about because it is such a unique situation.
We are very excited about kind of breaking down that barrier, making it more accessible for everybody, right? Baseball should be open to everybody if you can play it, right? So she's earned her spot. She's played 4 years of college baseball with the guys, and so this is not new to her. It's just new to us. And so we're thrilled to have her. Just a different perspective. Is one of the most innovative leagues in the country, right? And we've had banana ball come out of here, cosmic baseball come out of here. Now we have the first female player playing in here. It's just how we think about things. We want to do a little bit differently, make it a little more entertaining and fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's baseball, right? These kids are out here getting better at what they're doing. And honestly, the fans come because it's the fan experience, right? You get to watch great baseball, but you also get to see a lot of different things you wouldn't normally see.
I'm curious on this because obviously in this part of the country, college sports are so huge and they're changing rapidly. I asked the question earlier about the scouts with the transfer portal. Is that a part of the future of the league where the scouts coming by aren't just from the pros, but they're also from maybe Power 5 or Power 4 conferences that are looking at the players who maybe haven't had that exposure because we all know the portal it's taken over.
Yeah, it's already here.
Oh,
this is part of who we are. if you went down and looked at how many kids, you figure out what school they're from. Right now they're undecided, right? They're transferring from one to another. And so a lot are in the portal, and that's a big reason to go into summer ball is to get seen and get scouts to look at you. So that's from a player perspective, that's a big deal.
Give us the highlights as far as league. You brought up the event down in Macon, Georgia. If there is a gigantic baseball fan that loves the Coastal Plains League, loves the smell of fresh mowed turf in the morning, what are the Coastal Plains League highlights this year?
Well, obviously it's a short season, so we got 2 months, and so we're out fast, and you'll see a kind of
4 games in the next 4 days right here in this stadium.
Right here in this stadium,
Crank
we have
them out.
31. That's percentage-wise, that's pretty high. So you got to get here to see them. So every team does something different, right? And so going out to each one of those teams is kind of a fun thing to do. There's 15 teams. We start 3 in Virginia, and 9 in North Carolina, 2 in. Hopefully my math is right. 2 in South Carolina, 1 in Georgia.
The listeners know that I should not do on-air math, but I can't resist.
Well,
the
evidently I
temptation.
should either. But everyone is so different, and a lot of these ballparks are so different. That's one of the coolest things. If you go into each one of them, some are really old and historic.
Yeah.
Right, and some are really new and beautiful, like Ting, and we have some new ones that we're working on to expand the league, and they're beautiful ballparks. And to me, that's one of the best things. I love looking at ballparks. So you can take me anywhere to go see a ballpark. I'd be happy.
This is as good as it gets.
It really is.
Right? It really is.
Last one before we let you go, and you did bring up, right, you've had guys that make the majors and they're still communicating with their host family. I think one of the coolest parts about events like this, minor league baseball, even college sports, is like I saw them right? I saw them before they were them. As the commissioner, do you have any of those that stand out where somebody was super the bigs or went on big things?
There's a lot of those stories. I mean, you have everything from Russell Wilson, who may not have made it in baseball, but I think you've heard of him, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. That wasn't the one I was expecting, but that is a very good. I saw him when he was a baseball player in a wood bat league.
He is our most famous non-baseball player. Is that a good way of saying it? But Verlander's a big one that we kind of always showcase.
I would say two pretty darn good ones.
And
right there.
Baum, who just won when he did the home run derby, he had actually won the home run derby here in the Coastal Plain League.
So take credit for that, right? The reason he won that one is because
I believe it was 100% the CPL.
There you go.
I think you're right.
Chip, we appreciate you for stopping by.
Yeah,
Enjoy
absolutely.
opening day.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being out here.
Thanks,
of
Chip.
course.
Appreciate it.
Once again, that is Chip Allen, the commissioner of the Coastal Plains League, jumping on with us here at Ting Stadium, home of the Holly Springs Salamanders. I promise we will have that honest Svetch conversation, but on opening day, we got the commissioner. We had to have some baseball talk. So Svetch will address his performance coming up next right after this. Don't go anywhere.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your favorite grocer. If you can't find it, be sure to ask for it.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
It's time for the Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month.
Hello, Creighton Blackwell here again from Coastal Credit Union in 99.9 The Fan. Today we are at Millbrook High School, where we introduce the next Scholar Athlete of the Month, Brianna McMillan.
Day in and day out, just her presence, her energy, her motivation showed her teammates how to follow her. And they nominated her to be captain, and I think that speaks volumes to her as a leader.
She is like one of the leaders on the team, and anytime I see her play, it truly shows in her work and like her athleticism.
She is very uplifting, and she just makes sure if you're ever having a bad day to make your spirit better.
It's unimaginable. I really didn't think I was going to, be one of the 8, which is a huge honor, and I'm really grateful. And I hope I can live up to the honor, and I'm really appreciative for all the people who've nominated me and selected me. It's great. It's a great feeling. As an athlete, it's, you go through mental hurdles and you got to get out of it. But, my family has definitely helped me, supported me to get out of the mental ruts that I've gone through and, made me become a better athlete on and off the field. So I appreciate them.
Congratulations, Brianna.
For over 20 years, 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union have been recognizing scholar athletes at Triangle area schools. If you'd like to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Tim Donnelly here, and I want to tell you about the coolest place in town, the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location in Raleigh. Not only do they have the coolest selection of timepieces, we're talking pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, Hamilton, Norcane, and so much more, but they're also a vibe. Vinyl records playing, grab yourself a drink, and enjoy some great company. It's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. Luxury watches, men's jewelry, and unique gifts. Visit BaileyBox.com for more and cool out.
Mikkola backhands one behind the net, stepping out with it. Verhaeghe with a chance, and he's knocked down, and they'll score. Carter Verhaeghe behind the net with a strong move, wings it through Frederick Anderson, and it's 2-0 Florida with 8:19 left here in the first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As we were talking about before the break, Dennis and I are live from Ting Stadium for the Holly Springs Salamanders opener. Home opener tonight against the Tri-City Chili Peppers. And we appreciate Chip Allen, the commissioner of the Coastal Plains League, joining us before the break. And Andrei Svechnikov probably appreciated it because it delayed the conversation we're going to have right now. We had I'm gonna rewind this, try to compose myself. When you need to have a fast start, right? You have game one happen, it's 5-2, and you feel like with a better start, maybe game one is different. So you need a fast start in game two. And you look at the roster up and down, there are certain players you're gonna be like, okay, that guy maybe we don't want to depend on him too early, right? Scott Morrow didn't have a great game one. He's a rookie. Didn't even shift into the game for the first 12 and a half minutes. All right, we got to have a strong start. Keep the rookie off, right? Let's short shift some guys to not give them an opportunity. Svech is not one of those. Svech is a veteran. He's a core piece. You could argue for the first two series, he's one of, if not the best player producing on your team.
Yeah.
So he's in there with the expectation that he can help you get off to that fast start. Watching him turn it over, I mean, darn near gets the assist on the first goal.
Should have got a secondary assist.
Puts Freddie in a bad spot, puts everybody in a scramble situation. It's heartbreaking. And it's not a rookie, right? It's not somebody who hadn't been playing much and was forced into an injury or changed into the lineup like a Mark Jankowski after dealing with an injury. It's not that. It's Svech who was in rhythm, making some plays early on that just set I called it a collective uneasiness, right? If you were in the building, all of a sudden every single Canes fan, like, ooh, uh-oh. Like your brain was rushing places and you were trying to reel it back in, but you couldn't because you're like, this isn't good. And then it's 2-0. And then you're looking around really like this, it's not going to happen again. And then it's 3-0, but it all started with the play from Svech early. And you know, that spark works in both ways, right? An early goal for your team changes everything. An early bad turnover that leads to a goal for the other team that you almost feel like they didn't earn works just as much against you. Rod Brindamore was asked after the game about Svech's performance, and he acknowledged he was having a bad day.
He had a tough night, you know. I mean, we know he's trying, but we got to do within the way we need to be on the same page. And he was on his own pace tonight a little bit and didn't work.
That from a coach, especially a coach like Rod Brindamore, who, you know, it wouldn't be unusual for him to walk in after a 5-1 loss or a 5-0 loss and say, you know, it's not as bad as the final score indicates. He's looking for the good to say we have to be on the same page, and he was on his own page.
Yep.
Is telling. It's probably worse than that, and that is a pretty rough thing to say. And you know, it's that's one that needs to be answered for, right? I'm probably a little too player friendly because I do understand that what they're doing is hard, and I do understand that the Florida Panthers are very good, and I don't want to be the Caps fans that were texting me when the Canes took a 3-1 lead, acting flabbergasted. Like, I don't know what's going on with the Caps. They're just not themselves. And I had to explain to them that that's what the Canes do to some teams. Their defense makes you appear significantly worse than you are because of their play. I don't want to be that team. Now going like, I don't know, the Canes were so much better in the first two series, and now what happened? Because that's taking away from what the Panthers have done, what the Panthers have made the Canes look like. But then you see an unforced turnover early in the game in your own D zone to set up a goal. And I'm going, I don't know. I don't think the Panthers really earned that one that badly. I think they were gifted one and then built off that momentum.
Yes, 80 seconds into the game. Here you go.
And when the start was very important, when the start was, if the Canes got a 1-0 lead early on, everybody gets to take a breath out like of a relief rather than a breath out like a sigh and regroup.
Sebastian Aho, he talked to the media after the game as well. And this was actually earlier today. And he talked about the starts that the Panthers were able to get off to and what the Canes might be able to do to combat that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, lost 2 games, and doesn't really matter how you lose them or win them. But obviously, the fact that we've lost both of them and our game hasn't been at the level that we need to be able to win that team. And obviously, both games somewhat similar with them taking an early lead and kind of, I don't know, kind of getting away from our game and how we like to do the things. So obviously we like to have a better start, but even if we're not having the best start or they scored the first goal, just kind of get back to what we do and kind of double down on what we do and not going off the rails.
Double down on what you do and not going off the rails. That is exactly the opposite of what happened last night.
And I think that early turnover by Svechnikov set the tone for that, because it's like now we're chasing again. And it's human nature of like, man, game 1, we were trailing by a bunch. Now we got to go get it back. And you get out of character. And it took them out of character less than 90 seconds into the game. And then sure enough, you get another turnover by Svechnikov in the defensive zone. All of a sudden, it's a 2-on-1 behind the net. Canes lose position. They're trying to do too much. They don't clear the puck out. It's a goal again. Then Andre takes a dumb penalty. Power play, goal. It's in the back of the net. Like, this is one of your top guys, your top stars that's supposed to set the tone for your team, and he did, unfortunately, in the wrong direction.
Here's what stood out to me about last night. Svech included. Svech mainly. A Stanley Cup playoff run is 16 wins. It's not 8.
No.
Andrei Svechnikov played great through 2 series. Somebody like Freddie Anderson played great through 2 series. If that's where it stops, it's you get to talk trash to 28 other teams in the league, but the other 3 you don't like. The job's not finished, right? You needed the energy that Sebastian Aho had after clinching the first series against the Devils at home in overtime, when they asked him about, he said, like, we're not here to make the second round. We're here to go all the way. Winning the first 2 rounds was great, and Svech and Freddie may have been the 2 best players on the ice for the Canes in those series. Andrei Svechnikov was a -3 and directly impacted all 3 of the goals given up when he was on the ice, and Freddie Anderson didn't finish the game. Like, that right there is an indication that after 8 wins, something changed, and 2 of your guys that were in the biggest rhythm have completely lost it, and that is, quite frankly, unacceptable for 2 core guys. Like, your best guys, like if, and I'm just going to pick a name here, if Roslovic played great for a series, then came back down to earth, you thank him for the great series.
Yeah.
If Svech has 2 great series and then falls off the wagon in the third, no, you can't fall off the wagon in the third. Like, you're Andrei Svechnikov. We need you to be great, or at least really, really good in every series. Variations of really, really good to great is what you need from your core guys in every single series. Dennis and I were talking about this earlier today. Jacob Slavin didn't have his best game yesterday. Still pretty darn good.
Yeah,
right.
Still all right.
Still, most D-men would be happy with his performance watching tape. I've made that reference to Sebastian Aho. I think I still want him to be a little bit more aggressive as a scorer, but even bad Sebastian Aho performances, still pretty solid. That's what you need from your top guys. Barring injury or something completely outside of the realm of possibility, the bad Svech can't be gifting 3 goals.
No.
Can't be taking bad penalties. Can't be having bad turnovers. Bad Svech is, yeah, you may have given one up, but you got one back on the other end. That has to, like, it can't be what you saw last night. It just can't be. And it's crazy to say, but he's still mid-20s and maybe with maturity, but he's been around for so much. He's played so much hockey that, the excuses are starting to wear thin.
Hey, he's 7 years into his career, 25 years old.
Getting paid good money.
Exactly.
He's not a $2.5 million a year player.
And obviously you want your top guys to go out there and set, like, to wing you the game, but all right, at least don't hurt us. And he killed them last night. And here's the thing about it as well. I know we can touch on this another time. I know Rod's catching flack. But here's the thing. It's like this comes down to the player. Like, it wasn't a system thing. This is a player thing. This is an execution thing by one of your top guys. Don't forget, the 2nd overall pick in the draft, the 3rd overall pick right behind him was a scratch last night against Perry Kokoniemi. That's on the players. Like, the players are the ones that are out there doing this. Guess what? Players failed last night. Big time.
I'll do 2 minutes on the Rod Brindamore Discord with the acknowledgement that anyone that wants to talk Rod Brindamore, job security, hot seat, whatever, please bring that energy a month from now. We will have the time. I will have the conversation. Rod Brindamore's system got them to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think this roster, especially to go beyond, they know they need a dude, right? Andrei Svechnikov played like a dude as far as a scorer, like a top-end playoff scorer for 2 series, but that's not him. I want it to be him, but it's not him, and they know it. They tried to trade, or they did trade for Jake Gensel last year.
Yeah.
They tried to make Mikko Rantanen work this year. Those are 2 moves that say out loud, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we know we need a dude that can score at a playoff level, and they don't have that right now. Sometimes I wish it upon Aho. Sometimes Svech does it for 8 wins, but it's not what they have. So until they get that, the system has to do a lot of making up for. They have to do a lot of figuring out, hey, where can we steal one? Not to say last night is acceptable. It wasn't. Feel very confident that we'll be able to back our side of that's absolutely ridiculous to put him on the hot seat, significantly more than you can back your side of he should be on the hot seat.
Especially when Florida runs a man-on-man defense just like the Canes do. Oh, by the way, watch Dallas and Edmonton tonight. Guess what you'll see the Dallas Stars do tonight? Play man-on-man.
So we'll have that. Please remind me a month from now. I will enjoy it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, to reset things about the Carolina Hurricanes and their Game 2 loss last night, 5-0, unacceptable. We have 2 minutes with our very own Adam Gold, something we call 2 minutes of gold. There's going to be maybe a minute or two to get ready for 2 minutes of gold. So I'll remind you where we are today. We are at Ting Stadium, home of the Holly Springs Salamanders. If you're watching on YouTube, I keep turning around to see what might be in the backfield. They have, or in the background, I should say.
Batting cages are out, the whole deal.
Yeah, you can hear the crack of the bat. There's I believe Alexia Jorge just took some cuts. She is groundbreaking as a woman baseball player at this level. She is a catcher. She's played 4 years of college baseball, Division III level, and she is she's in the opening day lineup. We'll see if she's in the starting lineup, but she is in the opening day lineup for the Holly Springs Salamanders here, which, like I said, is barrier breaking. We talked with Chip Allen of the Coastal Plains League commissioner a little bit ago about it. They're very proud and excited to see where that goes. Now I'm told that we do have 2 minutes of gold back up and running. So here's our very own Adam Gold from here at 99.9 The Fan with 2 minutes of gold about last night's loss.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for, unfortunately, significantly more than 2 mistakes from a Carolina Hurricane that has the Canes in a 2-game hole in the Eastern Conference Finals to Florida. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. And we're all going to need better sleep. And who knows, maybe we're going to get better sleep because there might only be 2 games left in this season. But Carolina needed to start fast last night. They needed to get out in front of the game in Game 2 and put their best game on the ice. And then it just unraveled early, a bevy of Andrei Svechnikov mistakes. This turnover leads to an early deficit.
Now Andrei Svechnikov trying to clear, kept in. Florida with a chance, and they score! First shot of the game, and the former Cane farmhand, Gustav Forsling, makes it 1-0.
Giveaway, Gustav Forsling buries it, 1-0 Florida. Andre would turn it over again. The next shift, Jordan Martinook prevented a goal. Then Andre turns it over again. Matthew Tkachuk finishes a play, makes it 2-0. We barely played half of the first period, and then Andre takes a bad penalty, roughing Tkachuk, and actually Carolina got their best chance maybe of the whole game.
But now Stahl and Orlov can have a 2-on-1. Stahl coming in, drags, drops Coming back the other way, it's Rodriguez. He waits. He throws. That's blocked. Oh, an excellent play made there by Sean Walker. Puck still in the Canes zone. Verhaeghe drags. Another block there. This time Martinook. Another chance. And this time Verhaeghe will score. He's stuck with it and goes to the far post. And with 17 seconds left on the penalty kill, it'll be a power play goal for Carter Verhaeghe. And Florida is up 3-0.
Unfortunately, what didn't happen at one end happened at the other. It's 3-0 Florida, and Andre's still wearing it.
He had a tough night, you know. I know he's trying, but we got to do it within the way we need to be on the same page. And he was on his own page tonight a little bit and didn't work.
Rod Brindamore loves Andrei Svechnikov. It hurts to say that one of your best players had such a tough night. And now Carolina's work is cut out for them. By the way, Frederik Andersen didn't even finish the game. Fyodor Kochetkov played the third period. Don't know who's going to start in Florida tomorrow. But the Hurricanes, you got to win a game. Actually, Rod said it last night. Can we just win a period? Because Carolina hasn't won a period yet in this series. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Center's sound sleep, sound health. Sound off for winning a period.
That was 2 minutes of Adam Gold, 2 minutes of gold with Adam Gold about last night's Canes loss to the Panthers. That's where we are. At the end of 2 minutes of gold, sound off for winning a period. The Canes won their first and second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs in 5 games, one against the team with the most wins in the East. And after 2 games against the Panthers at home, it's already just win a period, man. Just win a period. That is a distinct downgrade in goals. And it's actually, like, we're going to talk about looking forward, right? Because the conveyor belt, the treadmill of postseason hockey doesn't slow down for anyone. So, like, last night's loss was brutal. Tomorrow's already halfway here. So they'll be looking towards game 3. One of the things I think is most dramatic after that game 2 loss is where our external expectations go for this team. Prior to game 2, I was very much in the win game 2, go to Florida 1-1. Yeah. Everything's still on the table, right? Go smack them around in Florida, split there, win the series, full steam ahead. Cup's still an option, right? Go get the revenge on Mikko if he's there. Like, all of that was still right there for the taking. After game 2, I'm going like, you know what? If this offseason you can seriously acknowledge that prior to this year, many were talking about it as a retooling year. You have a bunch of money to spend in free agency. There's some things you can do to turn yourself into a contender. And as long as you win a game, so all of those, people that very quickly, by the way, have 0-14 graphics ready, because that's how many games the Canes have consecutively lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. I want them to have wasted 0-15 graphics. Like, right at buzzer, they had all those really cool, really snazzy 0-14 graphics, which means they're making them ahead of time. Like, as long as you end the streak so that conversation can stop and all those graphics go, have to go into the trash bin on their desktop, I think that's now what you're playing for, right? I used to hate this term because, I don't know, maybe it's because I played a sport where we didn't have series in the postseason. It was one and done.
Yeah, one and done.
I used to hate playing for pride. I used to just hate that term, right? When you're mathematically eliminated, now you're just playing for pride because it's I don't know. It was like, no, you play to win. There is some pride in not being swept.
Yeah.
There is some pride in, no, we landed a couple punches. Even if we got knocked out, or even if we, it was a unanimous decision. That third round, or, that sixth round, whatever it was, like, we landed more power punches. I want to see that from the Canes. I want to see them in Florida play Canes hockey and win one on the road, right? You against the world. I would have never had this conversation before yesterday's game, right? Because before yesterday's game, it just felt like the horizons were the only limits, right? Like, the sky was the only limit for the Canes. After watching yesterday, it's like, oh no, there's some serious limits. There's some things that the Panthers do that I'm not sure the Canes will have easy answers for. And it's not just you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day. There's some things they do that make the Canes play uncharacteristic hockey. And that's, nothing to joke around about.
I know we kind of had a conversation a little bit about this earlier today about how we really are seeing the roster deficiencies for Carolina magnified right now. The fact that you don't have a second line center that can really help add to your offense, because if you shut down that top line scoring, there isn't a whole lot there. You can't always just rely on, our third and fourth line is just going to score for us all the time. Because guess what? If they score for you all the time, they wouldn't be third and fourth lines. That's something you got to keep in mind. There is still no true second scoring line, at least a center that can drive a second scoring line. So if your top guys get shut down, guess what? Florida has just as good of a third line and just as good as a fourth line as Carolina does, if not better. You're seeing the deficiencies in the roster right now.
There is one specific thing that I noticed last night. That, right, I don't want to already be in the offseason, okay? I don't want to already be, searching free agency conversations or which player wants to trade. I don't want to be there yet. But I do think you need to build your shopping list based on what you're seeing, right? Okay, here's our roster deficiency. Here's what's holding us, keeping us being a second-round winner and not a Stanley Cup winner. I do think they need, for lack of a better term, meaner people,
a little snarl to the game.
Yeah, I think they and actually, I'm frustrated with myself because this was a big part of the conversation when they were struggling during the regular season, and then as they got it going again, and obviously in the first two rounds, I stopped bringing it up, and I don't think I should have. I don't know if there's anyone on the Canes that falls into the category we love him because he's ours, but we'd hate him if he's on another team. And most of the really, really good teams that I can remember in most team sports have at least one, usually multiple, love that guy. I would hate him if he was wearing the opposing team's jersey. Mm-hmm. Most of the Canes are they seem like nice guys. If even if they get traded away, I'd want to see them do well. There's very little of that, right? And if you look at the last two teams the Canes have played, they've had very obvious examples of it. And the Panthers have a whole bunch of them. They've got 3 or 4 dudes that I'm sure Panthers fans are I buy his jersey. I love that guy. And every team that plays against him is why do his elbows always hit the back of my guy's head?
Yeah.
And it's going, I'm not advocating for dirty play or anything like that, but just somebody that pushes the line, and that gives you a little juice. The first 5 minutes of the game for the Canes were juiceless. There was just nothing. And there was no way that they could flip the switch and manufacture it.
Push the line, but that can still play.
That's also
That's
true.
The thing as
Not
well.
Just
it's
a goon.
You can't just have just a goon, because guess what? Those guys are worthless this time of year, especially. But some of the guys you talked about, like a Matthew Tkachuk, Brad Marchand, Tom Wilson,
Sam Bennett,
those guys all can play too. Hey, we need a goal. I got you. Or need to contribute in some other way, offensively, defensively, whatever it is. They still got you.
Again, we noticed it early in the season, and when it didn't seem to be affecting them, I got away from it, and I'm upset at myself because I would love to have those receipts in the middle of a 5-game series victory where I'm going, I don't know. I still think they need that, because then it would be so much more present now, and it wouldn't feel like 2020 hindsight. But we did mention it months and months ago. Just, I fell into the trap of not thinking it would catch up to him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are live at the Holly Springs Salamanders opener, Ting Stadium. We're talking Woodbat collegiate, mostly collegiate players in the Coastal Plains League baseball, and it's happening behind us at 6:30 today. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the action. We'll take a break. When we come back, it is time for football at 4. So we've been talking mostly hockey. We're at a baseball stadium. We're going to work some football into it. Stick around. Coming up next.
Let's go!
It's the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Here's Svechnikov, 2 minutes remaining. Svechnikov left up angle, he scores!
Let's go, Canes!
Hall all alone, in on Thompson, Hall scores!
Go Canes!
Wide open, rebound, and what a save by Anderson!
The Canes' road to the Stanley Cup runs through us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
What?
New scratch-offs are out. That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
NASCAR on Prime kicks off this Memorial Day weekend with one of the crown jewels of racing, the Coca-Cola 600.
Green flag flying here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
600 miles, 400 laps. This is where legends are made and heroes are honored. And for the first time ever, you can stream it on Prime.
1,000 times, let's do it.
See what it takes to finish first. Don't miss the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, how long will this take?
Just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Get out. That's super fast. Super fast like an F1 pit stop.
Sir.
Huh?
We're all done. I even topped off your fluid and checked your tires.
But I was so close to the finish line.
Get in and out fast with Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. And check out the movie F1 starring Brad Pitt, only in theaters June 27th. This film is not yet rated.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. What a great way to kick off the holiday weekend. A spectacular afternoon, 75 degrees, low humidity, lots of sunshine. 51 tonight, so it'll be chilly. And then we'll copy and paste tomorrow. Another gorgeous day with sunshine, low humidity, and a high of 77. Now, late Sunday, we'll have a chance of showers and storms. It'll be a rainy night. Some rain lingers into early Monday, but the afternoon is trending drier.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 256 points to 41,603.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4. We're covering all the sports today. We are talking quite a bit of hockey. Canes lost game 2. They're now down 2-0 to the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference Finals as of last night. We are on location at Ting Stadium for the Holly Springs Salamanders Coastal Plains League, Wood Bat League, collegiate level summer baseball game. They'll be playing the Coastal Plains League opener for the Holly Springs Salamanders.
Yep.
Will be against the Tri-City Chili Peppers.
Love that.
There are so many names to remember in this level of baseball.
By the way, my favorite throughout the season, probably this is the They're making Georgia. They're
playing the
coconuts
in 3 days.
They are.
They're playing the coconuts.
There's another team here called the Pancakes. So when they play bacon, they play the bacon. It's pancakes and bacon.
Look at that.
Or bacon and pancakes, depending on who's home team.
I hope they play that game at 9 a.m.
They should. They really should.
Actually, no. Breakfast food, it's actually pretty good all
For
times
dinner
a day.
as well? Absolutely,
all times a
100%.
day. That is actually pretty funny. Holly Springs Salamanders. That's where we are. Ting Stadium. 6:30 opening pitch for their season opener later today. But also, we need to jump to a little football at 4. You heard the intro. So today we're looking at the Panthers, the Carolina Panthers, and looking at, I don't even know if it's a bright spot. It's a dependable spot in the Canes, which is Jacob Slavin. And we've highlighted him a few times. I was actually having a conversation with someone on Media Row yesterday about the 3 stars, and like Adam Gold does the stars in the aftermath, right, in the post game for the Canes. And like after a game like that, what do you do with the stars of the game and the players of the game, where you look around and you go like, all right, maybe Stankoven had a couple moments, so he's definitely in. You got to come up with 2 or 3 more names. Like, what do you do?
Like Martinook had a pretty decent day.
And I think it's almost like by default you just go Slavin.
Yeah.
Because even if he didn't play great, still probably star worthy, right? Like his floor is so high that you probably take it for granted, but also when you're looking around and scrounging for any kind of thing that you can point to and go, well, at least that happened. Slavin is that dude. He's going to be in the right position, even if he has and he did last night, a couple passes where you're like, interesting decision to go there. Not sure that would have worked out every time. I thought he took some shots that were very, maybe this will work. Let me see if I can get something here, which was necessary. Like that was the right energy to have. So Slavin plays that role of the forgotten superstar until everything else crumbles. And then you go, there's my oasis in this desert. There's Jacob Slavin. So we thought, who is that for the Panthers, right? Because speaking of like all these upset Canes fans, do you realize what Panthers fans would give to have won a playoff game in each of the last 7 years?
Carolina Panthers fans? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry. I have to clarify my Panthers. To have made it to the conference championship in 3 of the last 7 years. It is one of those, like, you don't know what you have till it's gone. But the Panthers are trying to build up to the Canes levels, Carolina Panthers, trying to build up to the Canes levels. So who is their Slavin? Who is their, even when it's bad, it's still pretty good? Who is their oasis in the desert of a bad game?
That also might be underappreciated by a lot of people too.
Yes, and then I think that's an important part to note. Because my first thought immediately went to Robert Hunt.
Okay.
Left guard, big dude, right guard, big dude. I may have just given mine away. Right guard, big dude. But I almost thought Robert Hunt gets too much love. He's a character. People like hearing him in the locker room. He's making $20 million a year. He is an anchor to the offensive line. And for maybe because there's some lack of star power at other offensive positions, at least until Teterow McMillan showed up. Like, I feel like Robert Hunt actually is appreciated by the Panther fans.
Oh, yeah.
Damian Lewis, I don't think he is. Damian Lewis makes roughly half as much as Robert Hunt. He's on a $53 million contract, which, only. But that interior of the offensive line is really 2 guards, and you can slot whoever you want in at center. They played very well with 3 or 4 different centers last year. Austin Corbett's coming back to take that role. But Damian Lewis is the one next to Ike Ekwonu. Damian Lewis is the one who has to deal with the less experienced guy on his side of the line. And they've done a pretty darn good job over there. So when I always think of Gladys Knight and the Pips.
Yeah.
Back in the day where bands like had the, what was it, Ray Charles and the Raylettes?
Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Exactly. When you're talking about the offensive line for the Panthers, it does seem like it's Robert Hunt and the offensive line. Damian Lewis should not be just relegated to singing backup. He is a good enough person to take a solo every now and then. So that's where I'm going with it, because the offensive line run blocking especially is kind of the Slavin of, hey, that game was pretty rough, but before we got behind 2 touchdowns and it made sense to run the ball, they did have a pretty good day, right? It's just, once we get behind 2 touchdowns, we kind of have to throw, and that's not their specialty. So, at least the oasis was we run block pretty well. I think Damian Lewis doesn't get enough love for that.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I agree with you on that. And that he doesn't get enough love and enough appreciation because when we say, oh, they signed 2 guards this past off season. Yeah, Robert Hunt, awesome. Because Robert Hunt also did make a Pro Bowl, or was a Pro Bowl alternate this year. And he had a really good career first 4 years in the with the Miami Dolphins. Yep. And obviously earned his contract. But yeah, when you make the bigger money, you're going to get more attention.
And I should have clarified. I'll say both of them are Slavin, kind of.
Yeah.
Damian Lewis is Slavin pre-Four Nations Cup. Robert Hunt is Slavin post-Four Nations Cup because it does seem like Slavin's getting more love nationally now after the Four Nations Cup when everybody was rooting for, or not everybody, but obviously by country, a lot of people were rooting for Team USA, and he was playing huge minutes and playing fantastic. So Lewis is almost like old school Slavin before the national media caught up to how good he is.
I was actually surprised you didn't go this. I was actually thinking you might go Derek Brown. Because Derek Brown is highly productive as a player.
Best defensive player. Makes sense.
Best run. But best,
J.C. Horn.
But best, well, I'm talking like in terms of production and consistency. I know barring the injury this past season, but the production and the consistency has been there. But when you compare him to other defensive tackles across the NFL, in terms of the top tier guys, his name doesn't get mentioned. Is because, kind of like Jacob Slavin, best lockdown defender in the entire NHL, doesn't put up the offensive points. Derek Brown, best run defender in the NFL in terms of the interior, but he doesn't put up the sack number, doesn't have that interior pass rush that a lot of other top guys do. So he kind of gets overlooked in that regard when you talk about top tier guys, but you're like, oh, well, yeah, there's Derek Brown with another tackle. Oh, look, there's Jacob Slavin with another pass breakup. Like, that's where I was going to go.
I actually thought Derek Brown and J.C. Horn for the same reason, in that they are very good at everything except for the one stat that makes you an all-pro.
Yeah.
Where Derek Brown is good at everything you want an interior defensive lineman to do except getting the quarterback on the ground, which is the thing that the flashy stat that gets people to vote for you for all-pro. J.C. Horn, very good at everything you want from your lockdown corner aside from getting a ton of interceptions, which is the thing you need. But the one part that I didn't have from either of them that Slavin has is the durability.
That's a good point.
But both of those guys missed, and Derek Brown obviously most recently missed huge chunks of time. And part of the dependability of Slavin is he's usually out there.
He's there.
He's usually out there. So that was the one kind of disqualifying thing. And maybe that's unfair because Hunt and Lewis got here this year. So it's like, they've been durable for a season. And actually they both did have little bang-ups and owies. But it's just it seems like Brown and Horn more so than that. So those were the only reasons I didn't go with them. But you're right that they don't have the flashy stat. I also think it's absolutely ridiculous that you can't be the best defenseman in the NHL without scoring goals.
Yeah.
I don't. That's like saying, Patrick Mahomes can't be the best quarterback because he doesn't run for enough explosive plays. It's like, well, it's nice if you do, but you can be an effective quarterback doing the thing that quarterbacks are asked to do more often.
It's funny because we have an award, the Selke, which Rob Brindamore has won, and Jordan Stahl finished second for last year for best defensive forward in the NHL. Why in the NHL? Because it's kind of default what the Norris has become.
And mixing the two, the NFL is getting better at it. Did you see the award that they're giving out this year?
I have not.
Protector of the Year. It's Offensive Lineman of the Year.
See, I like that.
It's the first time they're adding it to like Offensive Player of the Year and blah, 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 blah. Protector of the Year for Offensive Lineman of the Year.
I like that.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because guess what? A guard is never going to win Offensive Player of the Year because they don't score enough touchdowns. So you make an award for that specific deal. And by the way, I don't want to have 75 awards. But yeah, like if you have defensive forward, you should have offensive defenseman. And then you can have a defenseman of the year award, which Slavin would be in the mix for, probably a multiple-time winner by the time it's all said and done, but definitely a whole bunch of top 5 finishes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here, for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Speaking of having a bunch of awards, look for reasons to give your family and friends awards, or at least celebrate milestones, because it's a reason to head to Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location, go into the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, and get them an iconic timepiece to commemorate the occasion. We're talking graduation. We're talking just got the new job, just got the new promotion. We're talking anniversaries. We're talking retirements. We're talking big milestones. There's no better way to mark the passing of time and a huge milestone than with an iconic timepiece. Of course, we're talking pre-owned and vintage Rolex, largest selection in North Carolina. We're talking Omega at their Omega Boutique inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location, the largest Omega boutique of its kind. Talking Blancpain. Check out the 50 Fathoms. It's an unbelievably iconic watch, the kind of the grandfather of all modern dive watches. Glashütte Original, class mixed with modern technology. Norcane, brand new. You can create them all the way down to your exact specifications, and so many more. If you're into sports, clearly you are. You're listening to this station. Fox and Bailey has timepieces built for it all. Diving, racing, pilot's watches, flying, whatever your game, they've got a watch that fits the movement and the mindset. So go ahead and check them out. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, your go-to for unforgettable gifts. Their selection of fine and designer jewelry and timepieces is unmatched, timeless, thoughtful, guaranteed to impress. Let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan when you check out their selection. Say you heard about it from Tim. I'd appreciate that one. We'll take a break. When we come back, not only do we have a cup check-in with Shane Willis, WRAL analyst, talking about the Canes with Adam Gold, we also have to look towards tomorrow's game. As rough as Game 2 was, Game 3 is happening. So you got to get ready for it, and you got to be prepared to fight a heck of a lot harder than you did in Game 2. We'll break that down and more coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
A record in sports that would be a big deal if it was broken and we'd all be in on it is 100 points in a game in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, big time.
If I told you within the next 20 years in the NBA, somebody would score 101 points in one game.
I could see it. Couldn't you see a team just waving the white flag and another team taking advantage of that?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Heineken Silver is a world-class light beer with only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. It keeps things light and refreshing all year round. It's like rain showing up to cool things off and then politely leaving. It's like cracking open a window and nailing the cross breeze. So, as we move into the warmer weather, grab a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver and taste the difference. Only 2.9 carbs and 95 calories. Available at your local Heineken retailer or for delivery at Heineken.com/silver now. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
A pepperoni pizza for the table. May I suggest trying it with our Pepsi Zero Sugar? It has just the right amount of sweetness to complement all that cheesy, saucy goodness. Simply divine.
Pepsi Zero Sugar? You've really outdone yourself this time.
Pizza deserves Pepsi.
Handy Hugo's has a refreshing deal. 2 1-liter Pepsis for just $3. Quench your thirst at Handy Hugo's today.
When you think of hot, you might think about the tragic time you ate too much wasabi. Or about getting into your car on a summer day when it feels more like stepping into a sauna. But heat can work in your favor, like during Verizon Red Hot Deal Days. Get hundreds of hot deals on all your favorites, like iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence, Apple Watch Series 10, and iPad, on any plan. Only until May 28th for new and existing customers. Offer available on My Plan. Only at Verizon.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, It's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Lets it go and they score. A power play goal, and Alexander Barkov with as good of a tip as you're going to see on a power play goal.
You know, we've been talking about the number of tips that haven't gone for Carolina. You had a tip from Bennett in the first period. Beautiful tip here from Barkov. And he has as long of a stick, one of the longest sticks that there is in hockey.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here. We are at Ting Stadium, the home of the Holly Springs Salamanders. They are opening up their Coastal Plains League baseball season, wood bat, collegiate level, guys during their offseason. Baseball against the Tri-City Chili Peppers later today. We're here for opening day. Could not ask for a better day. I said this at the beginning of the show. We will get to the cup check-in with Adam Gold in a second. I said this earlier today that this is a perfect timing for this remote here at Ting Stadium because sports are frustrating. What happened with the Canes yesterday is frustrating. And then you get a day like this where the breeze is just perfect. The sun is shining, blue skies, everything is awesome. And you hit this moment where you're looking around and you go, you know what? Okay, right? Maybe I can deal with a rough one from the Canes. But it's also good to be in this good of a situation because it doesn't sting as much when you have to pay compliments to the Panthers, meaning the Florida Panthers. And that highlight you just heard, the Barkov goal, was one of those moments where I saw the goal in real time and I didn't realize how good the deflection, the tip was from Alexander Barkov in real time. And you're like, goodness gracious, they gave up another goal, blah, blah, blah. Then they play it in slow motion, and you're like, you know what? That's just a great play from Barkov. And occasionally you do have to tip your cap. You do have to say it wasn't just the Canes playing poorly, although it was the Canes playing poorly. Also, the Florida Panthers are pretty good, okay? And it's not just the Canes playing bad. Some of it is the Panthers are making the Canes play bad. And now that I said that out loud, as much as it tasted bitter, I feel better about my integrity. And now I can get back to criticizing how the Canes played. No, but seriously, we have the Canes check-in. Shane Willis, WRAL analyst, checked in with Adam Gold. The cup check-in is served up by Carolina Ale House. Check out their viewing parties for every away game. The official viewing parties you should check out for Game 3 will be at Cary and Garner locations of Carolina Ale House. And for Game 4, it will be in Cary. So Game 3, Cary and Gardner. For Game 4, it'll be in Cary. Those are the away game watch parties at Carolina Ale House. For the cup check-in, here is Adam Gold with Shane Willis, WRAL analyst.
Shane Willis is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, sir. You were on with the fellas, my friends at WRAL TV5 last night, and you said that the Canes needed a reset. How do you reset from last night? What is the reset?
Well, I was actually talking with Chris Lee when we were off air because he was asking from a player's perspective. I said last night's probably easier to flush and get rid of than Game 1 or losing a real tight game in overtime because you're analyzing the mistakes even more. I think it's easy last night to go into the room and say, that's not how we play. Let's get ready. Let's rest. Let's focus going into Florida and come out and play how we play hockey, and that's hurricane-style hockey, getting the forecheck, managing the puck way better than they did last night, and trying to get on the score sheet first so they're not chasing the game.
With the stakes so high going into last night, why did it unravel so easily?
I think it unraveled so fast. I think early in the game, the puck management, the turnovers, And when you're doing that at this stage of the game, when you have the 4 best teams left in the National Hockey League, if you're going to turn the puck over, you're going to make mistakes. I think even if you look in the other series, Edmonton had the same problem, but it was in the third period.
Right.
And you allow a great team opportunities like the Florida Panthers, and every time they've had you have to give them credit, because every time they've had an opportunity, they've made the Hurricanes pay, and they put it in the back of the net. And it happened again early last night. And you're reeling. And when you're playing one of the best 4 teams in the league right now, it's very difficult to come back in these games.
Shane Willis is joining us here as we get ready for Game 3 and hope Carolina can win one of these 2 and make a Game 5 so Lenovo Center gets a chance to show out again. I know you say it's easier to flush a game like this, but does a performance like that in a game that had so much riding on it, given a 1-0 series deficit already, does that run the risk of destroying any confidence you might have?
No, I think it should fuel this locker room more than it ever has before, because that type of performance should drive, and we talk about the character inside that room all the time. The leaders will be their best. And when they're their best, everyone follows along. I think they have to utilize that frustration and knowing what happened last night to be the best game, not the best game that they played in this series, but the best game that they played the entire playoffs in Game 3. And I sit here today knowing and still have the confidence that this team can play better, because we haven't seen their best. I go back to even last year. They were up against the wall against the New York Rangers and fought all the way back in that series before losing one here at the Lenovo Center to get knocked out. So the ability is there. Obviously, both teams coming out last night, it sounds like there's more guys, and you'll see this every game, getting banged up. Will this player play in Game 3? Reinhart leaves the game for Florida. That is a huge hole. So the Hurricanes have to completely refocus. You have a good team meeting today before flying to Florida, and look across the room and say, we can do this. And you have to have that belief, because you've done it all season long. You've done it in these playoffs. Florida's not been great at home, which is strange.
Right.
So you have an opportunity, but I just think the first period, the lead, is extremely important in Game 3.
Once again, that is the Canes Cup check-in with Adam Gold, served up by Carolina Ale House. Check out their viewing parties for every away game throughout the offseason. Right now, that we know that's at least Games 3 and Games 4. The official viewing parties for Game 3 will be in both the Cary and Gardner locations of the Carolina Ale House. And for Game 4, it'll be in just the Cary location of the Carolina Ale House. Go ahead, stop out, have a good time, eat, drink, root on the Canes, and at least have, misery loves company. So if it's gonna go down in flames, at least you'll have others there with you. I'm only half joking there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
You know, it's a morbid thought.
Thanks to Shane Willis, by the way, for checking in with Adam.
As a Canes fan, obviously we don't have a show this weekend. We're going to be off on Monday because it is Memorial Day. By the time we're back on air, the Canes season could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably, like, if not me saying this, there are probably some odds out there that say it's likely after watching Games 1 and Games 2. There's certainly that option. And by the way, like, the offseason, there's plenty of offseason talk. Like, there's the irony is, the moment the Canes season ends, if you are a quick page turner, if you are somebody that doesn't stew on rough situations, if you are somebody that can quickly, all right, that season's over, let's get to the next, it becomes optimistic pretty quick. But you got to go through some real downs to get there. So we'll have those optimistic conversations in the offseason, but right now it's about scratching and clawing and finding a way to get a win. You know what? I'm pivoting here. Let's go ahead and talk some college basketball.
Okay.
Because I think two of the teams that we cover here in the Triangle are kind of saying their rosters are done. Okay? So yesterday, if you listened into the show, we quickly referenced two fairly big commitments in college basketball from recruits and transfers. Duke yesterday received a commitment from Dame Sarr, who is a 5-star incoming freshman Italian wing. It's between 6'6" and 6'8", depending on which service you look at. He had been playing with FC Barcelona, where he was playing with Jabari Parker. may have been a little, hey, guess what?
Brotherhood.
There you go. And then NC State later in the day received a commitment from Darian Williams, who played last year at Texas Tech. Did have his name in the NBA draft pool until recently, pulled it out. He's a 15, 5.5, and 4 guy.
Yeah, 15.1, 5.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists per game. He's a 6'6" junior.
So, like, he was one of the top 5 guys by some recruiting services in the transfer portal this cycle. He committed to NC State.
Mm-hmm.
So those two very big dominoes that fell for Duke and NC State. Obviously, NC State had brought in a whole bunch of different guys, the Will Wade New Era McNeese guys, Matthew Abel, a 5-star freshman, a few other players from around the country. Duke didn't lose anyone in the portal, did lose some studs to the NBA draft.
Sure.
And they're replacing with 5-star freshmen and now another one in Dame Sarr. Now, they both still have roster spots after those two commitments. And I think part of the State fandom went immediately to like PJ Haggerty, the leading returning scorer in the country from Memphis. He's the next one. 2 pieces of news came out today that strike me as both Duke and State saying, we got our big dominoes yesterday. We're going to fill out our roster, and we kind of have our roster.
Okay.
So NC State landed a commitment from Finnish guard Jamie Kotuniemi, which
I'm sorry, Jesperi Kokoniemi?
Could be Jaime. I don't know. Jayme Kotuniemi. Kontuniemi. Sounds like, I described it. His name kind of looks like if you asked AI to remember Jesperi Kokoniemi's name, this might be what ChatGPT would come back with.
Okay.
He's a 6'4", 205-pound guard who took an official visit with the Wolfpack last week. That is about the extent of my knowledge of him. I can't tell you that I've been up on my Finnish perimeter of college basketball prospects. But he is not PJ Haggerty, right? PJ Haggerty would be an incoming transfer, high-priced, one of the leading returning scorers in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Duke, meanwhile, according to Ryan Lahman, co-host of the Crazy Cast on the Field of 68, has 4-star Sebastian Wilkins reclassifying to the 2025 class and committing to Duke.
Okay, so similar to what Tyrese Proctor did, reclassifying to get to Duke a year early.
Yes, and Cooper Flag did it, and it happens around college basketball.
Elliot Cadeau reclassified.
It's a relatively common deal. So to me, both of those 4-star solid commitments is kind of State and Duke both saying, all right, we got our big stud, right? That's good. Now we can fill out the roster with maybe a developmental player, somebody who could play a role this year, but we expect to play a bigger role into the future, but we get to get our hands on them earlier, which is, I think, kind of exciting for the two fan bases, right? There is an element of, and maybe I will say this, maybe I am numb to it by the way that the transfer portal works in football, where you have somebody like Ryan Brown, a quarterback from Purdue, in the first transfer window right after the season, commits to UNC, goes into spring practice at UNC, and then the second transfer window goes back to Purdue. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to invest in any of these players until I know they're going to be a part of the roster.
Yeah.
So if NC State were still hunting a player of PJ Haggerty's level or some other super-duper stud, you don't know how that's going to impact, right? Somebody commits, and then, all right, now somebody else leaves, and somebody graduates because, now my role isn't the same. With these two moves, it's almost like they're saying, all right, this is the crew we're rolling with. You can get to know them, right? So now I will, sometime over the weekend, and you mentioned we don't have the show on Monday. Sometime over the next 3 days, I'm going to dive into Jaime or Jamie Kontuniemi and see what he is for State, and I'm going to feel comfortable that he is going to be a part of the roster this upcoming year because it seems complete. The college basketball rosters are kind of these ever-living, ongoing, living, breathing organisms that can change constantly. But there is a moment where a coach has to look around and go, all right, let's shut the door to the locker room. These are the guys that are going to be in the boat with us this season. And I think two State and Duke, who were, by the way, the most active and most, to call a spade, the most successful this offseason in bringing in new players to their maybe outside of, I would say, Louisville, Duke, and NC State were the three most successful this offseason in the ACC. They appear ready to roll, right? Like, my team is on the floor, to quote Gene Hackman in Hoosiers. My team is on the floor. They've got their squad together, which is nice. And they've mixed in the big names and the small names and the developmental futures and the freshmen and everything else. So there's a lot to like for both of those programs.
I mean, clearly like 6'6", 6'7" is Will Wade's bread and butter for the transfer portal right now, because you got, like you mentioned, Jarian Williams just made the commitment yesterday, 6'6". You also had Jerry Dang from Florida State, 6'7".
Who
Terrence
recently
Arsenault
pulled his name out of the NBA draft as well and said he is coming to NC State.
Terrence Arsenault, transfer from Houston, 6'6" as well. Colt Langdon, who's from Raleigh, went to Millbrook High School, transferring in from Butler, 6'7". So there's clearly a trend here. Now I know Trey Holloman more to that point guard that's 6'2", but
and
still,
Mbaya is 6'11" or whatever it ended up.
Yes. So again, they're not the same. They're all like that, but there's clearly like, okay, we're going to get some guys who are athletic that can probably play 2 through 4 in some way, shape, or form, which gives you versatility with your lineup. It gives you versatility with your defense. That's not a terrible thing if you're Will Wade trying to put together your first lineup.
A lot of switching screens in the future for NC State.
Hey, Duke switched everything.
And by the way, Duke, if you look at their starting lineup, it will once again be, if you put Caleb Foster in the starting lineup, 6'5" will be the shortest guy.
Yeah.
If he is coming off the bench, which he probably won't, but if he was, it could be a 6'6" and up starting lineup again for Duke. Now the Caden Boozer, who's another big 5-star recruit, I think he's 6'3", 6'4", so he would be the shortest in the rotation.
Yeah.
Which does sound kind of ridiculous, but he's only 6'3", 6'4".
Only.
But everybody else, they'll be 6'6" and up again. So both teams getting quite up there. And then just side note, and this is not me talking, but UNC, because I know every time you talk college basketball in the Triangle and you talk about two of them for that long, the other's going to be mad. There just hasn't been the fireworks. There hasn't been the big names committing to UNC this offseason. Not to say you can't develop guys, and not to say there's an opportunity to improve. But Vasar and those guys coming in a bit earlier, and I'm blanking on the shooter's name from West Virginia, and you did have a couple good names. It's not all fireworks for UNC. Matter of fact, and again, not me. There is a crystal ball prediction on 247 Sports today that has come in for Van Allen Lupin to go to NC State.
Really?
Not me. It's one of the 247 Sports insiders, 24/7 Sports insiders. I did see that come across my purview. I would still expect Van Allen Lupin to go back to UNC, just because that seems to be where, you always take with the mouth over some insider making a prediction. But you want to talk about Will Wade announcing to the world that he isn't afraid of the what do you call them, bully neighbors that NC State has. That would be a pretty loud announcement.
So Jonathan Powell from West Virginia, the one that you're referring to, the transfer in from North Carolina, but they clearly made an emphasis on height this past year. Visar coming in from Arizona, 7-footer. Also Jaron Stevenson, 6'11" from Alabama, transferring in.
He's the one I'm most excited about for UNC.
I'm excited to see it. Kyan Evans, that guard coming in from Colorado State, obviously a little bit bigger than what we saw last year with R.J. Davis and Elliot Cadeau. So there's clearly an emphasis on the front court for Hubert Davis. This upcoming season, it's going to be fun.
And UNC worked very quickly in the portal.
Yes.
Duke and State took a little bit more time. UNC had their shopping list. They knew the grocery store. They walked in, said, we need 4 things, aisle 6, aisle 9, aisle 1, moved quick and got to self-checkout in about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, Duke and State did the whole, let's walk up and down every aisle and see what we need, and eventually got their stuff done. But again, you're going to hear me say it 1,000 times going into college basketball season. It always comes through the triangle. It simply always comes through the triangle in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think next year is going to be any different. All right. You want to do a quick ladder challenge? We haven't done one in a while. Let's knock out a ladder challenge. By the way, we're not skipping the ladder challenge intentionally. It's just there's a lot going on recently. And when you have, I don't know, like Jonathan Stewart jump on the show like he did yesterday, and you have, just unexpected things happening, you kind of, unfortunately, ladder challenges ended up on the cutting room floor a few times. But that's a problem for me because I went back down to $0 or went back down to $10, had to start over recently, and I need more opportunities for Dennis to lose.
Yeah,
so
no.
the fact that we're skipping it is, it hurts me because I'm a competitive individual. Dennis, what are you up to?
I am up to $14.43. The most recent bet that I did was the over 3.5 goals between the Edmonton Oilers and Dallas Stars from a couple of nights ago. That was a minus 825. That put me at my $14.43. Where are you at right now?
I am less. I am at $11.25.
Okay.
By the way, I did
not that far behind.
No, but it's far enough that I'm not going to make it up simply by we have the minus 500 to minus 1,000. Like I can't just hug the minus 500 and a couple of days later have passed you. So I'm still in the waiting for you to make a mistake category.
Okay.
And we don't have a show on Monday, so it's already the 23rd. What's our next show going to be? The 27th. We're nearing the end of the month. So if you could mess up today, that would be great for me.
Okay, well, you better hope and pray that the Dallas Stars and Edmonton Oilers don't score today because I have over 3.5 goals in that game tonight in the Western Conference Final Game 2 between Stars and Oilers. It's a minus 920.
Dallas third period.
Yeah, both these teams will put up 3+ again probably, but it's a minus 920, so my 14.43 would turn into 15.99.
I'm going to the exact same bet I won last time.
Okay.
So I had to restart, and I went simply to Connor McDavid, 2 or more shots on goal versus Dallas. And it hit. It was a nice, smooth, I think it had 4 or 5. It was, an easy one. So this weekend I'm going to Connor McDavid, 2 or more shots on goal versus Dallas. Go right back to it, right? 2 for $1. Hey, yeah, I got a hot shooter on the perimeter. I'm a point guard. I'm going to keep giving it to him till he misses. Connor McDavid, 2 or more shots on goal, and the Edmonton collapse. I think after games like that, a lot of times your best player goes all right, let me calm things down. Connor McDavid to the rescue. And whether he does or not, I don't know, but I think he's going to try to. So a bunch of shots from him will take my $11.25 up to $12.50.
There you go.
I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Let's go, McDavid. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of on the way, we are on the way to Real Bold Predictions. And we are at the location of the Holly Springs Salamanders opener later today, taking on the Tri-City Chili Peppers. We are getting closer and closer to opening pitch here at Ting Stadium. We are getting closer and closer to bold predictions as well. It's coming up next. Stick around.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50 at any size Sprite for $1.49. Price of participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Kick off summer with Memorial Day savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 5 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Plus, get up to 40% off select major appliances and save an extra $50 on every $500 you spend on select major appliances $396 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning, life, and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Chance for Orloff. That hits Martinook in the back of the leg as he was camped in front of Bobrovsky. And now a chance to clear. And a drive put right on, and Kochetkov will make the save on the Tomas Nosek offering.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are here at the Holly Springs Salamanders opener today, where, just to run through some of the things they have going on with the Salamanders, tonight, opening day, Tri-City Chili Peppers will be in town. Tomorrow, they will have the Carolina Pirates in town, and I believe that is the book drive day. The next day, I got to get my calendar right, so that's Sunday, Holly Springs Salamanders will be hosting the Coastal Coconuts. And then on Monday, the holiday, right, long weekend, they have the Catawba Valley Stars in town. And then the 29th, so a couple days after that, the Asheboro. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I think, and by the Coastal Plains League does a great job marketing. There's merch, there's all that kind of stuff. I think I could give you, and this is not an exaggeration, 150 guesses. You would not guess who the Asheboro team's mascot, like who their Salamanders is, like the name of their team.
For Asheboro?
Asheboro.
Couldn't tell you.
Zookeepers.
Oh, that's right. They are. Yeah,
Asheboro
right.
Zookeepers.
That makes sense. The Tiger Zoo and all that.
There you go. So the Holly Springs Salamanders will be hosting the Asheboro Zookeepers on the 29th.
Nice.
It is all here right at Ting Stadium where we are located for the day. Max is back at the studio. Max, are you aware that you have the role of the bell and the buzzer for a little Real Bold Predictions?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
All right, good. Let's go ahead and fire it up.
Let's go, Max.
There you go. All right, the way the Real Bold Predictions works, we're the only place with real, certified, authenticated bold predictions. You can't get away with a run-of-the-mill generic prediction and call it bold. So what's going to happen is I will make a prediction. Dennis, if you have some, feel free to throw them in.
Okay.
Make a prediction that I feel is bold, and if it is bold enough, you will hear the bell. If it is not bold enough, you will hear the buzzer. And I will have to make it bolder on the spot until I get the bell. I'll get it started so everybody sees how this goes. Okay, we'll go with this one.
Okay.
Game 3 tomorrow, Canes, Panthers.
Oh, going right there.
I'm mixing them in. Alexander Nikishin plays. Bold enough.
Wow, okay.
I was prepared to go as far as Nikishin scores his first career goal.
That'd be extremely bold.
It's only bold enough if Sean Walker is in the lineup. I will say, caveat. So if Sean Walker is out, it's not bold enough. But if Sean Walker can play and Nikishin's in.
Say that. I would like the fine print to say that it does not have to happen that way. I've already earned the bell. But yes, that would make it bolder if Sean Walker is playing.
Speaking of Sean Walker, Rob Brindamore did talk to the media earlier today, gave an update on both Sean Walker and Seth Jarvis. He said Seth Jarvis should be good to go.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like everything's
Seth
okay
Jarvis
with Seth
is tough
Jarvis.
as nails.
He really
took a shot.
And So did Sean Walker. Sean Walker actually literally took a shot like to the face/neck trying to on a penalty kill.
I don't think that's what hurt him.
No, it wasn't. It stunned him. But that was in the first period. In the second period, he got hit by AJ Greer. Took a big hit, clean hit. Was favoring his right shoulder.
Both clean hits. I mean, yeah. I'd like to yell about the refs as much as anyone, but you got to call a spade a spade. They were both clean.
But the one that Sean Walker took, he was favoring his right shoulder, missed a big chunk of the second period, came back and played the rest of the second period, but didn't play the third period at all. And Rob Brindamore used the word iffy when it comes to Sean Walker. Even though he said Sean Walker's actually doing better than expected, still iffy for tomorrow. So if Chatfield can't go and Sean Walker's out, hey, guess what, Nikishin, you and Scott Morrow.
Then my bold prediction comes correct.
Yep. You might legit get that.
All right, next up, real bold predictions. We'll go with Pyotr Kochetkov plays game 3. I feel like we've shamed Max into being now he's going to be a very difficult grader. I'm going to go and rate my professor and say that guy is a tough grader. How about this? Pyotr Kochetkov plays. We're talking goalie, right? And I just think it's less about Freddie and more about just you need to mix it up. You need to send some messages about, playing better. I'll go Pyotr Kochetkov plays and he holds the Panthers to 3 or less goals. Keep in mind, they're averaging 5 through 2 games.
They've scored 43 goals, granted on the road in 9 road games.
And I mean, I don't know if it finished this way. I think it was both 5 goals on 20 shots in both games.
Yeah.
That's not, but that's also Freddie. So, all right, well, I guess we'll have to go. Pyotr Kochetkov plays and holds them to 2 goals or less.
Gosh,
all right.
He only let in 1 last night.
He only played a period.
That is true too. And
I don't know.
Maybe the most aggressive Panthers attack either because they had a 4-0 lead already.
Maybe Max is looking at the fact that if Pyotr Kochetkov plays in game 3, it might be in relief, and if he gives up,
interesting. Interesting, because I didn't say starts. If you go back and reread the tape or re-listen to the tape, I did not say starts.
That's a good point.
All right, let's go with let's get to some NBA action. How about the Thunder sweep the Timberwolves? How about the Thunder sweep the Timberwolves and win each? They already are 2-0, but they were at home. Win each game by 5 or more. All right. I feel like that was a fair negotiation. Good job, Max. I just think the Thunder are a wagon right now. I think the best chance to catch the Thunder was Jokic, and that's just because Jokic is the best player playing right now. And he took them 7, the Thunder won, and now I think even the Pacers and Knicks are kind of playing for the right to go get smacked around by the Thunder.
You know what's interesting is that if you look at the Florida Panthers and you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, you can argue like 2 of the most, if not the most talented rosters in their respective leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each of them went to a 7th game.
In the second round.
Shot out of a cannon.
Yep.
Like, they just clearly just took the momentum of the Game 7 win and just kept it rolling.
The irony is Sebastian Aho today, talking about the Canes, said if you're going to go on a run, if you're gonna basically win the whole thing, you're going to face adversity, and obviously this is ours. That's what Aho said about the Canes. You could say the same thing about the Panthers and the Thunder and say if you're going to go on a run, you're going to have to escape, you're going to have the one moment where you face the adversity. They both faced it in the second round and feel like they're on the other side of it. Like, we learned the lesson. If you were going to catch us, that was the time you were going to catch us. You didn't. You missed your opportunity. Now we're full steam ahead. At least that's how I feel with the Thunder for sure. I probably won't admit it to myself, even if I feel the same way for the Florida Panthers. Another bold prediction here. The Holly Springs Salamanders beat the Tri-City Chili Peppers today, right behind us here at Ting Stadium.
Let's go.
They beat the Tri-City Chili Peppers by 2 or more, 3 or more, 4 or more.
Let's go.
All right. 4 or more apparently is as far as I was going to just keep running it until one more until Max gave me the bell. I mean, it's opening day baseball. The home team's got to have a little extra juice, right?
Of course.
little extra
on
juice.
A day like today?
Absolutely on a day like today. It's glorious. Speaking of the Holly Springs Salamanders, how about this?
All right.
We see the first hit by a woman in Coastal Plains League history today, right behind us, for the Holly Springs Salamanders against the Tri-City Chili Peppers.
Let's go.
Of course, we're talking about Alexia Jorge, who is a catcher, bats right, throws right. She is fresh off 4 years of baseball at St. Elizabeth University. Baseball. She is playing baseball, breaking down barriers here with the Salamanders.
By the way, they're actually selling. They have a jersey with like her number and her name on the back. The Salamanders do that they're selling here.
She's as far as like baseball at this level, she is legitimately breaking down barriers.
Yeah, I mean, she played 4 years of collegiate baseball. It's not like, hey, let's just try someone out here. No, she's played, and as Chip Allen, the commissioner, said, she earned her way.
Mm-hmm. So I just think I wanted to be in the bold predictions world with Alexia. All right, let's get to the two big hockey ones. Do you have something you'd like to throw in there?
I don't.
Okay, we'll go. Edmonton wins game 2 by multiple goals over Dallas. I mean, they were up 3-1.
They were.
Then they lost 6-3.
And then they started taking penalties.
And I think they will. In game 2,
they better hope so. Goodness.
And if they do that, I think they win. Maybe an empty netter, but it's a multiple goal win for them to even up the series. I'm hoping that Western Conference really becomes a really exciting series. There's a lot of talent over there. And finally, I'm going to put Max on the spot. Max, the producer, back at the studio as we're out here at the Holly Springs Salamanders opener. Every once in a while, and Dennis, I do this with you as well, and Graham when he's producing. I put you on the spot for what you decide is bold.
Okay.
So I'll put this one out there. Canes win game 3. Is it bold? Canes win by 2. All right. There's probably points in time throughout the year where Canes win by 2 wouldn't have been bold. But hey. Canes winning still not bold, according to Max, which says something there, right? Hey, Canes not outclassed that much. If you win the game, Max won't be surprised.
I won't be surprised if they win 1 this weekend.
If they win 2?
Won't be. If they win 2, that probably would surprise me.
So we see where it becomes bold for Dennis.
Exactly. But gosh, if you come back 2-2 to Raleigh, people are there's a little bit of a different energy. Like, well, wait a second, we're 2-2 having 1-2 in a row. Okay, let's do it.
We'll talk about it. We have to look towards tomorrow, and obviously then we'll get to the rest of the series and beyond for the Canes. But we'll talk about that as the show moves along. Thank you very much to Max, by the way, for running the bell and the buzzer there during Real Bold Predictions. He will be running the show as we come back for the starting 5. That's coming up next right here on 99.9 The Fan. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
It dates well back before the Disney movie Bambi, but the saying goes, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Shoot the puck.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun-fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Support for The Fan comes from Paramount Pictures presenting Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Every choice, every mission has led to this. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in his most challenging mission yet. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, now playing only in theaters and IMAX. Listen afternoons during The Drive with Tim Donnelly this week to win a Fandango gift card to witness the action and adventure on the biggest screen possible. Don't miss your chance to see the movie of the summer.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before. Oh, yeah! Big money! Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. Beautiful weather out there to kick off the long holiday weekend. Sunshine with temperatures in the 70s and a little breeze. Tonight we'll have mostly clear skies. It cools down nicely. We'll get down to 51. And then partly cloudy Saturday with a high of 77.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 256 points at the closing bell to 41,603.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The starting five here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan kicks off the 5 o'clock hour every single day here on The Drive, every single weekday here on The Drive. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We're here live at the Holly Springs Salamanders opener, where they take on the Tri-City Chili Peppers with a 6:30 opening pitch. So that's going to be number 5 here. We're at Ting Stadium, where you can show up, by the way.
Yeah.
It is a great atmosphere for baseball, for being real. Maybe we're getting like the best version of it because it's opening day and the weather is gosh darn perfect. But I don't know if you can beat this. I'm looking at a sign that says ice cold beer here.
Yep.
We're looking at
ice cold beer here.
Exceptional.
Ice cold beer.
Exceptionally affordable concessions.
For real.
The everything's kind of getting set up, getting ready to roll, and it's going to be a really good day.
I see ice cream. There's a spot where they make mixed drinks. There's like the whole hot dog concession stand. The whole deal's going on over here. They have a combination. You get hot dog, fries, and a drink for $9.50.
I believe tickets are $10.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not finding wholesome content, wholesome entertainment like this for the price. They're starting to rotate the pretzels. That's always they're starting to rotate them.
I'm in. So in.
And the other thing that's really cool about this, right? We have the Holly Springs Salamanders, Tri-City Chili Peppers. They are college kids. This is their off-season wood bat league, trying to impress, trying to stay sharp. We talked with the commissioner of the Coastal Plains League, Chip Allen, earlier today. He talked about how the transfer portal has become a big part of their league, where players from certain schools that maybe aren't of the power conference variety may come to a league like this, hoping to open some eyes and have the opportunity to transfer to schools with a little bit more cachet in the college baseball world. But I think there is something about that level of baseball where, Dennis, you were walking around checking things out. Some of the Tri-City Chili Peppers walked by.
Yeah.
And they just genuinely looked at me and were like, "Can we get on the headset?" And it's just like they're at the cool intersection of they're not like, I don't know, cynical after spending years on a bus in the minors, but they're also like this isn't high school, right? Like they're at a cool intersection in their world sports career timeline where they still have that youthful like, oh cool, the radio, but they're better than where the radio wouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're college kids having fun.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I get to go play baseball all day.
And they don't have to go to class at this point in time.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I have a family that they like. I call them a host family that they put me up with that I get to stay with,
Mhm.
and they feed me and I get to hang out with, and then just get to go play baseball during the summer.
They're almost like cosplaying, for those of you that know the term, as professional baseball players.
Yeah.
And then they still have college coming up. Which it's a really fun deal, and they do a great job here putting on the entire entertainment package, which includes obviously the baseball. And I say this every time I'm at a minor league game. It's actually part of the cool parts about college sports, but darn sure this level of baseball. Hey, I saw him when that it's we talked with, again, Chip Allen, Coastal Plains League. He brought up Justin Verlander came through the Coastal Plains League. Russell Wilson came through the Coastal Plains League. You never know when you're sitting here just trying to have a wholesome afternoon with the family taking some baseball, and you might be looking at a future. I mean, what is Verlander? $400 million in career earnings, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
MVP, Cy Young, all of that at the major league level.
some other big names: Kevin Youkilis, Ryan Zimmerman have also come through the Coastal Plains League. Like you mentioned, Justin Verlander have all come through here as well. Like there's
I think the Pittsburgh
baseball
manager,
players.
the Pirates manager, may have managed in the Coastal Plains League.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, hey, you saw him when? You don't know it at the time. Hey, wait. Like it happens if you cover this level or minor league baseball ever in your career. Guys make it big and they're all-stars, and you're like, wait a second, where do I know that? Oh, I covered him when? I covered the Pulaski Yankees when Volpe from the Yankees was there. Had no idea at the time until I saw him playing for the Yankees, and I was like, where do I know that name? Turns out he was playing rookie ball for the Pulaski Yankees.
There you go.
For the one season I covered him. So check it out is what I'm getting at. Check it out. Stop out. Holly Springs Salamanders. It's a smile on your face experience.
Yeah.
Especially after, the Canes lose 5-0 the night before.
Well,
if you can make it out to a baseball game, you'll forget it. You'll be reminded intermittently, but for, a couple outs, you'll forget that they lost 5-0 at home to go down 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Final, and you'll have a smile on your face. That was number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
The ACC baseball tournament continues to roll on. Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the action as we speak. Duke and Florida State, I believe, are
playing right now.
Playing. It was a 3:00 start. I'm waiting for the stats to update here. Not sure how quick 12-5. Florida State over.
That's not good.
Florida State is the 2nd seed. Duke is the 7th seed. So there may be something going on there.
Duke will be in a regional. They'll be fine.
Duke will be in a regional. They'll be fine. State lost yesterday to Clemson 7-6.
Yeah. They'll be in a regional. They'll be fine.
North Carolina will, unless Duke pulls off an upset, just the top of the 6. So there's time. But UNC will be playing tomorrow. I believe tonight 7 o'clock. What am I doing here?
That Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
Today is tomorrow from when I wrote down these notes. They'll be playing today, 7 o'clock. They are the overwhelming seed favorite. They're the 3 seed taking on Boston College, who is the 14 seed and has played their way all the way to Friday, which is impressive by Boston College. They won a couple of games, 2 of them, I believe, that both went till 2 a.m. in the morning to get here. So 7 o'clock is going to feel like a matinee for them.
So earlier today, I was talking with Mike Burling of the Durham Bulls, who's the vice president at the Durham Bulls, who's also helps oversee the Coastal Plain League as well. So he's actually here, and I was talking to him about that. He's like, yeah, we've had
And by the way, the ACC tournament's all being played in Durham Bulls Athletic Park, which is the connection there.
And so talking with him about it, it's like, yeah, we've had so many games. One game ended at 1:45, another game ended at 2:17 in the morning. So it's like our grounds crew, man, they're putting in some work to get things going. But now they're down to 2 games a day, at least for the next few days, and it's obviously helping a bunch. But they're expecting a big crowd. If they're obviously not at Holly Springs to watch Salamanders, like UNC fans, they expect a big crowd over at Durham Bulls Athletic Park tonight for UNC baseball.
They were playing baseball at Durham Bulls Athletic Park with just 45-minute breaks between games from 9 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Multiple days consecutively. And then they throttled it down to just 3 to 11. Like that was that's the good, we can easily handle 3 to 10. Which is, awesome if you're a fan, right? If you just want to consume baseball, it is a great place to be. But you're right, it is obviously taxing on the logistics side of things for putting on a tournament. And anybody that's ever put on any kind of tournament with any kind of bracket, you know that there's a lot of work that goes into it. So shout out to everybody for putting on a ton of baseball.
We're a baseball area now. Look at us.
We're at a baseball game. We're talking about the baseball tournament elsewhere. We know that the Durham Bulls are a good time. We were there for their opening day. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. That was number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Halliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a 3 for the win. And he got it!
The NBA playoffs are also going on. Obviously, the timing kind of links right up with the Stanley Cup postseason, Stanley Cup playoffs. Last night, we'll go last night and then into tonight's game. Last night, Oklahoma City beat Minnesota 118-103. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander said he was kind of hyped up off of being named MVP, so he went out and scored 38 to help his team win the game. Little like, hey, I guess I got to go prove why they named me the MVP, and then he went out and proved why they named him MVP. You could argue Jokic, right? It's pretty difficult to go 30, 13, and 10 throughout an entire season and not be MVP. But that just goes to show you how good Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been and how good the Thunder have been. I believe they're the best team in the NBA, and it looks like they're proving it. What I will say is it's good to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's teammate when he wins MVP. Did you see the goodie bag?
No.
He threw together a nice little goodie bag that he gave to his teammates on some hey, I wouldn't be MVP without your help. You're rebounding, setting screens. We won 68 games, so that probably contributed to my MVP case. There was a nice Rolex, which apparently
for his teammates?
For every teammate.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right.
Which he apparently committed to over a year ago on some if I ever win MVP, one of his buddies was on the team, what are you going to get us? And he just threw out Rolex, almost not anticipating that he would be an MVP so quickly. And then was all right, so I'll get you the Rolex. He got him custom jackets from Canada, Canadian Goose Down something or another, because he's Canadian.
That's right.
iPhones, headphones of some kind, probably Beats. He got them hooked up nice because he got MVP. And I was hey, it must be nice. Look at that. He's taking care of his guys. And then the article I was reading illustrated how the max contract system is set up and how many dollars he unlocked by winning an MVP on his next contract. And I went, oh, never mind. The Rolexes were a steal because, you total it up. It's a couple $100,000 that he just gave out to his buddies.
Yeah.
His next contract is going to be $70 or $80 million a year.
That's insane. That's insane. Over 5 years?
Yeah, depending on how they end up going with the max and how much team control versus player control they want to give. But it's oh, okay, yeah. And the max contracts are a ton, but if you under the max contract system, if you hit certain defense MVP equations, it becomes even more grotesque of a gigantic number. So it is like, yeah, all right, you probably should buy your guys some nice Rolexes if they just helped you unlock a number like $72 million a year. I don't think you'll miss it. Tonight is the game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. So the Thunder have a 2-0 lead in the West. Indiana is going to be looking for another win to go up 2-0 over New York. New York, the home team in that one. That one's going to get gritty and grimy. It's these two teams. They don't blow each other out on the scoreboard. They might for a little bit, and then the other team's going to come storming back, and then it's going to be a close game. Halliburton. I'm interested to see what the game is like for Tyrese Halliburton, because he did hit the game-tying shot, buzzer beater, to force overtime in game 1, and then looked at the Madison Square Garden faithful and gave them the old-school Reggie Miller choke sign. I would imagine there's going to be quite a bit of booing when he has the ball in Madison Square Garden for game 2. Probably even more vocal than it was in game 1. So we'll see how that goes. Should be a fun one. That's tonight. Later start time for that one. What number was that? That was number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
The college basketball portal and recruiting world continues to turn. Duke and NC State both got, they're following the same timeline over the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
They both got massive, you could call them 5 stars. I know NC State, it's not technically a 5-star, it's a transfer portal acquisition, but massive nationwide target commitments 2 days ago, and then followed it up with 4-star fill out the roster commitments today. 2 days ago, Duke received a commitment from Dame Sarr, who is a 5-star incoming freshman from Italy, 6'6", 6'7" wing, who could be
another 5-star guy,
who could be a lottery pick. And for Duke, this is my comparison. Cam Boozer is the Cooper Flag, right? The top 2, top 3 recruit in the country, depending where you're looking. Centerpiece of the incomers. Dame Sarr is the Con Knipple, who would be the crown jewel of darn near any other recruiting class, but is going to come into Duke a little underrated simply because of who else he is joining in the recruiting class. But he is a literal 5-star top 15 recruit in the country, number 1 international recruit in the incoming freshman class, and he just committed to Duke. So that's their version of it. For State, it was Darian Williams, who already has a major conference season, averaging over 15 points, 6 boards, and 4 assists. This was with Texas Tech. And actually, I'm going to tell you why I know a little bit about Darian Williams, because I don't know a ton about Dame Sarr. Still got to go, watch some tape of him playing with FC Barcelona. Earlier in the portal run, there's a Toppin for Texas Tech that was rumored to be hitting the portal, and he was Big 12 Player of the Year. And I was like, you know what? Sounds like somebody that all 3 teams in the triangle are going to be after. Let me pull up a Texas Tech game and watch it. And this happens more in football, where you're watching tape of a receiver, and you're just like, you know what? Every single pass is hitting this dude on the face mask. The receiver might be good, but I need to know more about this quarterback. Every time I was watching for Toppin, I'd go, who is this other guy? And it was Darian Williams every single time, going you know what? Toppin is good, but who is this dude? Then he hit the portal. He put his name. Toppin didn't, by the way. He went back to Texas Tech, reportedly for $4+ million. Williams hit the portal, actually put his name in the NBA draft pool as well. Just pulled it out, reportedly came down to NC State and Kansas. He picks NC State. So State and Duke get these big dominoes to fall two days ago. Then today, Duke gets a commitment from Sebastian Wilkins, a 4-star who actually reclassified up to 2025. Kind of what appears to be a nice developmental piece. Probably won't have to depend on him a lot this year, but hopefully they'll depend on him in the future kind of move. And then State lands a commitment from a Finnish guard. So actually they each got one kind of domestic and one international commitment.
True.
A Finnish guard who I'll have to look up the commitment or the pronunciation of the commitment's name after the show. I'm going to go with Jamie Kontuniemi, Finnish guard, 6'4", 205-pound guard, took an official visit with the Wolfpack last week, committed today. That is another I would expect to be a developmental player, maybe not dependent upon a ton this year. But when we talked with Will Wade a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was, he did say kind of like the first year we're going to have to depend on a lot of transfers. Starting beyond for NC State, they want to get, a couple impact freshmen, a couple developmental freshmen, a couple transfers every year. And that way you have some continuity, some culture setters always returning, as well as some guys, leaving for the league, some guys potentially leaving from the transfer portal. So a good 48 hours for Duke and NC State on the basketball recruiting/transfer portal front.
And I think each of those teams, by the way, real fast, still have like one spot open.
Technically, yes.
Technically, they do have a scholarship open because here's the thing: you never know who's gonna maybe pull their name out of the NBA draft portal or NBA draft, NBA draft. Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna do this anymore. But also, you never know if all of a sudden a coach somewhere gets fired and hey, all those players hit the portal. I'm going to pick that one guy. Like, I think some teams are going to keep that spot open.
That's what I was going to say.
For those kinds of reasons, because you never know what's going to happen between now and the end of the summer.
I think their rosters are mostly complete, but I would not be surprised if every major program with a legit NIL budget doesn't have just we keep that seat open roster spot, with the idea being there's a handful of guys across the country that if they express interest in going to your program, you say yes. And you don't want to have to say no, and you don't want to have to go to somebody that's like a piece of your program and go, yeah, you're going to have to leave. That's not fun for anybody. So I do think they will keep kind of that placeholder. Like, we keep that spot open just in case, there's, who was it? Oh, no, this is going to ruin me. It was the June Jones football coach, had a defensive coordinator, always wore black. I am blanking on his name. I think he ended up being a head coach maybe for the Falcons. But reportedly he always left tickets for like celebrities at the NFL games. It would just be like, I would like Bruce Springsteen to come, and he'd just leave two tickets for Bruce Springsteen just on like some, hey, in case he does, I want to meet Bruce. I think they're going to keep like the Bruce Springsteen tickets aside if you're a major college program, because it's like, hey, just in case somebody like Tony Bennett, who we don't expect to bail, does a couple of, and then that 30-day window opens up where they can transfer. We don't want to have to say no to somebody who could be a program changer because we don't have the roster spot. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! Oh, nice little bump pass here. Working with its Blake. Jarvis out in front. They score! A power play goal for Jackson Blake. And Carolina has made it 5-2.
Memories.
That was last night.
That wasn't.
Jerry Glanville. I just looked it up. Name of the defensive coordinator. Had to do it. All right, so now we're to number 1, which is the Canes lost to the Panthers, Florida Panthers, in Game 2, Eastern Conference Finals last night. Score 5-0. Very little to take away from that game, other than yikes. For more of the details, here's Adam Gold with 2 minutes of gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for, unfortunately, significantly more than 2 mistakes from a Carolina Hurricane that has the Canes in a 2-game hole in the Eastern Conference Finals to Florida. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. And we're all going to need better sleep. And who knows, maybe we're going to get better sleep because there might only be 2 games left in this season. But Carolina needed to start fast last night. They needed to get out in front of the game in Game 2 and put their best game on the ice. And then it just unraveled early, a bevy of Andrei Svechnikov mistakes. This turnover leads to an early deficit.
Now Andrei Svechnikov trying to clear, kept in. Florida with a chance, and they score! First shot of the game, and the former Cane farmhand, Gustav Forsling, makes it 1-0.
Giveaway, Gustav Forsling buries it, 1-0 Florida. Andre would turn it over again. The next shift, Jordan Martinook prevented a goal. Then Andre turns it over again. Matthew Tkachuk finishes a play, makes it 2-0. We barely played half of the first period, and then Andre takes a bad penalty, roughing Tkachuk, and actually Carolina got their best chance maybe of the whole game.
But now Stahl and Orlov can have a 2-on-1. Stahl coming in, drags, drops back, Martinook shot, low drive, saved by Bobrovsky, and the rebound just eludes Stahl. Coming back the other way, it's Rodriguez. He waits, he draws, that's blocked. Oh, an excellent play made there by Sean Walker. Puck still in the Cane zone. Verhaeghe drags, another block there, this time Martinook. Another chance, and this time Verhaeghe will score. He's stuck with it and goes to the far post. And with 17 seconds left on the penalty kill, it'll be a power play goal for Carter Verhaeghe. And Florida is up 3-0.
Unfortunately, what didn't happen at one end happened at the other. It's 3-0 Florida, and Andre's still wearing it.
He had a tough night, you know. I mean, I know he's trying, but we got to do it within the way we need to be on the same page. And he was on his own page tonight a little bit and didn't work.
Rod Brindamore loves Andrei Svechnikov. It hurts to say that one of your best players had such a tough night. And now Carolina's work is cut out for them. By the way, Frederik Andersen didn't even finish the game. Fyodor Kochetkov played the third period. Don't know who's going to start in Florida tomorrow. But the Hurricanes, you got to win a game. Actually, Rod said it last night. Can we just win a period? Because Carolina hasn't won a period yet in this series. ParkwaySleep.com. Start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health. Sound off for winning a period.
That was 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold, all about last night's Game 2 loss for the Carolina Hurricanes. For perhaps a more blunt analysis of last night's competition, how about we go to the captain, Jordan Stahl, after the game. He broke it down this way. Jordan Stahl. Are you there, Jordan Stahl? You know what? Jordan Stahl on his breakdown is what we're looking for. It was a certain type of whipping is what he said.
Is there anything to take away from the game?
No, not really. That was pretty much an ass whooping, and it's all the way through the lineup from goaltender to the forwards. It's got to be better, and I don't know what we were expecting tonight. Especially the start wasn't good enough. They came at us right away and got a couple quick ones, and you're behind and kind of go worse, to be honest.
If there is one silver lining to a game like that, and I will fully admit that to see the silver lining, you probably have to close one eye and squint with the other. It's that there really can't be any finger pointing. In that locker room, there's Andrei Svechnikov didn't have a good day. Freddie Andersen wasn't on his best. The forwards weren't great. The blue line could have done a lot better. There's really no one in there that was completely innocent in the proceedings. So if everybody's got to wear it, everybody's got to kind of figure out what happened, and everybody's got to do better in the future. There's really no finger pointing that could happen. You just heard Jordan Stahl say it, right? From the goalie to the forwards, everybody needs to play better, and that is a strange silver lining, a strange comfort that actually that it happened that way, because it's all hands on deck for Game 3. Speaking of Game 3, we're going to look towards Game 3 when we come back right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Do not go anywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
I am not a watcher of Entertainment Tonight or Bravo Network. I don't care about these things. I don't care about the relationship between Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson unless it impacts football. Nobody has made the connection for me that this will impact football. But I will say this. The university can't separate itself from the relationship because Belichick is UNC football.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCAA.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
NASCAR on Prime kicks off this Memorial Day weekend with one of the crown jewels of racing, the Coca-Cola 600.
Green flag flying here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
600 miles, 400 laps. This is where legends are made and heroes are honored. And for the first time ever, you can stream it on Prime.
1,000 times, let's do it.
See what it takes to finish first. Don't miss the Coca-Cola 600, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR, it's on Prime.
Calling all Caniacs. Come watch the Eastern Conference Finals at Carolina Ale House. As the official Canes road game HQ, Carolina Ale House is hosting viewing parties for away games. Join us for indoor-outdoor viewing parties at the Cary and Garner locations for Game 3 and at the Cary location for Game 4. Bring a lawn chair, enjoy food and beers from the outdoor bar, and watch on our enormous TV. Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes to learn more or keep an eye on our social media. Ale yeah! And go Canes!
Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey. And at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we understand your concerns when it comes to buying an engagement ring. Am I paying too much? Am I getting a quality diamond? Will she love the ring? Rest assured, we prioritize your happiness as much as the exquisite diamonds we offer. That's why we provide unparalleled guarantees to give you peace of mind. First of all, we offer an incredible 30-day money-back guarantee. Secondly, with our unique 100-day price protection, we promise you'll get the best price, quality, and value. But if you find a better offer, we'll match it and give you 10% of the difference. But we don't stop there. We also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. It's our way of giving you confidence throughout all of your cherished moments. We've been locally owned since 1948 and voted the best jeweler year after year. At Bailey's, we're not just selling jewelry. We're providing a legacy of trust. We invite you to shop with us and experience the difference.
Now this will be deflected out in front. Oh, he scores! Carolina gets a bounce, and Sebastian Aho gets some life here in Lenovo Center. The Canes on the board.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Dennis and I are out at Ting Stadium for the opener for the Holly Springs Salamanders of the Coastal Plains League. We're talking baseball here. Players on the field getting ready to roll. Looks like the Tri-City Chili Peppers are actually getting their turn in the BP circle.
Gonna get smacked tonight. Just talking trash for
You're gonna go. Yeah, by the way, Salamanders do things the right way. It's a great stadium. If you're coming out to check out some collegiate level wood bat league baseball, it is really, really well done. Which of course makes us diehard Salamanders fans. Now it's all about the Sallies. I don't know if that's what they call themselves, the Manders. The Manders. Also, I saw that their mascot is Sal the Salamander.
Makes sense.
How is it not Sal A. Mander? Like Sal, middle initial A, last name Mander. It's right there. Maybe that is his full name, and they just call him Sal the Salamander.
Yeah.
Either way, we're here at Ting Stadium.
Like Bull E. Bull.
Exactly. There needs to be. We'll talk to some people. Matter of fact, their brain trust was walking around here earlier today. We actually had the commissioner of the Coastal Plains League on the show, so we'll get that idea into the right people's hands. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Their opener, by the way, is today, 6:30 against those same Tri-City Chili Peppers that are behind us getting warm. Let's look towards Game 3 for the Canes. As bad as Game 2 was, flush it. The coaches love this analogy, burn the tape. Don't even watch it. There's nothing that you don't already know. It's like, oh, I'm not supposed to turn it over in my own D zone. Gotcha. Like, you don't have to watch the film to know that the stuff was obvious. Oh, I shouldn't take dumb penalties against a power play that's kind of got our number right now.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we watched the film to figure that out. Oh, when I'm open and I am a scorer, I should shoot.
Right.
Gotcha. Right. So it really is a burn the tape situation, right? Bury the tape, whatever you do, drop it in the blender. It is maybe that's nice, right? When you only have 2 days between games, sometimes you have to waste time on watching tape. This one, no, just start getting ready for Game 3. We'll start with Sebastian Aho on the new opportunity, some audio here on the new opportunity that is Game 3 and what their goals are for the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important at any point, whether you're up or down or whatever, you just have to, take a shift at the time. And, that's playoffs. I mean, there's ups and downs, and obviously didn't start this year the way we wanted, but tomorrow's a new opportunity, and just try to win the first shift of the game and not worry anything else.
That is the appropriate mindset. Win the first shift. The irony is we started with these really big goals, and we're narrowing and narrowing and narrowing. At the beginning of the series, it was all right. Let's get out of here in 5 or 6, right? Let's go to the some fans were even thinking like, I want Miko in the Stanley Cup final. I want Dallas, right? They start with these big goals.
Yeah.
Then after Game 1, it became like, all right, just win Game 2.
Yeah.
Then, if you listen to the 2 minutes of gold, Adam Gold's saying, just win a period.
Yeah, that's what Rod said.
just win a period. And then you hear from Sebastian Aho, we want to win the first shift. Pretty soon it's going to be like, I want to win the opening face-off, and we'll go from there.
Yep.
Like, it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller and more focused. And that's the way you have to go, right? You have to just keep focusing in and getting the tunnel vision and not worrying about what happened in the past and not worrying what's going to happen in the future. Just when we were talking with Jonathan Stewart, actually.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers legend, running back. During the pregame, he was running around to tailgates and everything. We were outside Lenovo Center. He stopped by to talk. And one of the things he brought up was just do your job and win your matchup. Right. And that's what they would say to bounce back from a loss when he was with the Carolina Panthers, which was one of the more successful periods of time for the Carolina Panthers in their existence was when Jay Stu was in his prime. And even he was going, just like it's boil it down, right? Make it as simple as possible. Just win your matchup and look to your teammates and ask them to do the same. And if you do that often enough, long enough, consistently enough, you'll bounce back.
And Rob Brindamore earlier today talking to the media did say, hey, stick with your game. Otherwise, if you don't, you get the results of last night. Here's Rod.
Well, I think that was, again, you got to do what got you here. And we didn't do that last night, and we saw what happened. When the minute we started going off script, it looks like that. So, we gave ourselves a chance in Game 1. If you look at and take the score away, I know everyone knows, just watch the game. It was right there. That last night wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, I would say last night wasn't going to do it, but yes, the saying "dance with who brought you." You need to tweak things, but don't change who you are. Don't change the guys that got you there. Actually, let's update some injuries.
Yeah.
So Sean Walker banged up in Game 2. Seth Jarvis banged up in Game 2. Rod spoke about both of their situations earlier today. Jarvis appears as if he's going to be good to go. More of the nature of took a big hit, was sore, but will be able to go. Is kind of how I read the situation. Sean Walker maybe a little bit more of took a big hit, maybe dealing with a hurt versus injured situation. They have to figure out what side of that fence he falls on.
Rod used the word iffy. Yeah, he's more iffy. He did also acknowledge that Sean Walker is in a little bit of a better shape than anticipated, but still not in great shape at all. I mean, it looked like when he got hit by A.J. Greer in the second period, Walker did, he was favoring his right shoulder pretty heavily going back to the bench, went to the locker room, missed about 7-8 minutes of time, and then came back, played the rest of the second period, and then didn't play the third.
Yep.
Again, looking towards that upper body, right shoulder, kind of in that area. I don't know if it's a shoulder, rib, you never know, but he was favoring that right side as we have hot dogs delivered to us.
Hot dogs delivered. So I will crush this during the next commercial break.
Absolutely.
Baseball, hot dogs. I mean, we're living the American
beautiful
dream.
Day like this, and a holiday weekend. Start your holiday weekend with fun. Maybe the Canes can add to that tomorrow with a win.
That would be nice. And then the last injury we want to update you on is Jalen Chatfield did not skate today.
Nope.
He skated twice yesterday. He skated in morning skate. He gave it a go in warm-ups. Really right up until it seemed like they were going out on the ice for starting lineups. He was up in the air to play or not, ended up not playing. Scott Morrow played in his spot. Not a ton. Didn't even shift into the game until 12 and a half minutes into the first period.
They were down 2-0.
The conversation will remain if Chatfield can't play tomorrow. Nikishin or Morrow versus Nikishin. If Scott Walker doesn't play, that kind of becomes a moot conversation because they'll probably both draw in.
Yeah, we legit might see that.
Which would be 4 rookies in the lineup for the Canes in a Eastern Conference Finals game.
Yeah.
Not how you draw it up. But an opportunity for the young guys, right? Maybe they're so young and inexperienced, they don't know what they don't know, and they don't know that, what they're trying to do is darn near impossible. So, maybe the little bit of naivete, a little bit of innocence could play in their favor in Game 3. We're going to hit this break so I can crush a hot dog because we have hot dogs at a ball game. How much better can it get? We're at the Holly Springs Salamanders opener here at Ting Stadium. 6:30 opening pitch, so we're less than an hour to opening pitch here in Holly Springs. When we come back, we will make our picks. We will send you out into the week the right way. Stick around. That's coming up next.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back. That one going. Gone.
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Carolina, Jarvis with it out in front. They score! Sebastian Aho deflects it out in front with 14.8. Carolina is on the board.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to making our picks, 3 things I want to address.
All right.
2 I feel are kind of important or kind of sentimental in a way. 1 is a little bit more goofy, but in my life I am 1-0 in eating competitions.
All right.
After what I just did to that hot dog during the commercial break, I want in on a hot dog eating competition.
Okay, let's make that happen.
That one was aggressive. And Sal the Salamander is rolling through. Sal, come say hi to everybody on YouTube. Oh, he walked into our tent. There you go. There's Sal the Salamander if you're watching on YouTube. There it is. There's Sal the Salamander. Mascots and radio just don't mix.
No, they do.
They don't.
Stormy has given us multiple first goal score predictions.
Yes.
Including live on air.
You're the translator for that one.
Hey.
He's Nikishin, you're Piotr.
If only.
Because there's a lot of hand signals going on. Either way, what was it? Oh, I won in on an eating competition. One time in college, me and one of my linemen beat 5 volleyball players in an eating competition because they called the football player video for the marketing department. I showed, this is what I eat, and I showed, a normal plate that I eat during a team meal. And I said, this is what one of my linemen eats, and it was stacked with more food than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And then the volleyball players, they did a day in the life of the volleyball team. And the volleyball players said, we saw the plates that the football players eat. It's not that much food. So the marketing department was like, opportunity. And they did a 5 volleyball players versus me and a lineman. We had to do a full pizza and a full half gallon of ice cream. Not the most fun thing in the world to eat.
That sounds amazing to eat.
Smoked them. When I tell you, smoked them. Absolutely lit it up. So I'm 1-0.
So was it was it all by time?
It was whoever finished first.
Oh, okay.
It was those 5. It wasn't individual. It was 5 of them versus the 2 of us.
Oh, okay.
For time, and we absolutely lit it up. And I will say, I at least carried 50%. You would think the lineman did most of the heavy lifting. I at least did 50%.
I mean, I could take away a half a pizza right now.
The half a pizza, but the ice cream was the challenge because it's brain freeze you got to worry about. Eating too fast. Small bites, a lot of them. Anyway, what I just did to that hot dog during the commercial break here at a baseball game was worthy of an eating competition.
Okay.
2, Mark Packer is retiring. Mark Packer yesterday ACC Network, obviously was on FNZ in Charlotte for a long time. Just a legendary ACC voice. When there was a point in time where Feinbaum was extra aggressive advocating for the SEC, and the ACC was getting no love, and everybody said, we need a Feinbaum. Packer was the one that most people were like, there's our guy.
Yeah.
He is an ACC advocate, ACC Network. He's at all the ACC media days. He announced he is retiring. Just shout out to a legend, guy that's done it for a long time in our business, done it pretty darn well. And he announced yesterday, just in a tweet, like, hey, my agent told ESPN I'm retiring. So shout out to him. And I like that he didn't do the retirement tour. He didn't say it like 6 months before he retired so he could get one more applause from everybody. Respect. And thirdly, today is the last Around the Horn.
Yeah.
Around the Horn, the show on ESPN, Tony Reale giving points, muting people.
Originally, Max Kellerman had that role.
23 years, almost 5,000 episodes. Today was the very last one. Anyone that's ever been like at home on a summer Wednesday, and it was raining outside, you had nothing to do. Let me go see if Tim Cowlishaw can beat Woody Page. Like that's what it came down to. Where's J.A. Adonde against Bomani Jones? Like that's what we were looking at. Mariotti earlier on, like there was a
5:00 time slot on ESPN. 5:00 Eastern was always part of the interruption with Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, and then Around the Horn, with a whole different group of people, leading right into the 6:00 Sports Center. And here's something that Around the Horn did this before social media became a thing, was that it actually exposed people to other opinions and people that cover sports in different areas of the country. Like Tim Cowlishaw.
Housing ice. It's proven fact that ice cream tastes better at a baseball game. Most things taste better at a baseball game.
That's true. By the way, that's a Phillies helmet you got going on there.
That's not ideal for a Mets fan. It's not ideal. Either way, we do have to make our picks. So that's the last thing to do. Shout out to Around the Horn. Shout out to Tony Reale. Shout out to Mark Packer. Shout out to anybody that wants that smoking and eating competition. Now we'll make our picks. Dennis, what are we picking?
All right, let's go right to tonight. NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Knicks down 1-0 to the Pacers at home at Madison Square Garden, 8:00 tonight.
I think the Pacers win on a Tyrese Halliburton buzzer beater. I mean, what does he have, 3 or 4 of them already this postseason?
It's insane.
Like, just having that option, like having the ball trailing or tied as the clock expires 3 or 4 times in a postseason is fairly unlikely, and he's made it 3 or 4 times in a postseason. So at this point, I think it's just going to keep happening. So keep it rolling, keep it happening. Go ahead and Tyrese Halliburton on a buzzer beater. Sorry, Knicks fans.
All right, other game in the Western Conference Final of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We have the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Dallas Stars. By the way, this is pretty much right down the middle in terms of betting lines, money lines. It's a -115 for Dallas. I think it's a -105 for Edmonton to win the game tonight. Or it might be, I might even have that flipped. It's literally that close of a betting line between Edmonton and Dallas game 2 tonight.
Can you remember a team as streaky as Dallas has been recently, where
insane.
They'll go a period, a game where they are like, how did they make it to the Western Conference Finals? And then something will click and they'll score 5 goals in a period. And it's happened a bunch of times this postseason, including game 1. So I'm just going to say that they don't click in this one as much, and Edmonton wins because I want it to be 1-1. I want the Western Conference to be entertaining because I really don't have a horse in the race.
All right, let's go to tomorrow night. NBA.
Okay.
Western Conference Final.
All right.
Let's go to the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road at the Minnesota Timberwolves. OKC leads that series 2-0. OKC on the road, 2.5-point favorites in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say OKC wins. I respect the Timberwolves' attitude, right? Teams take on the image and attitude of their best player. So Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's an absolute fight till the very bitter end style of leader. So I believe that the Timberwolves will fight all the way to the end. I just don't know if it matters when you're playing against a team like the Thunder, who, the Thunder can be around for a long time. They not only are good, they're wildly young and have a boatload of picks. Somebody said they had 49 picks in the next, I think it was like 5 drafts, and I didn't know if they were exaggerating or not because
that's insane. There's 2 rounds in the NBA draft.
It might be an exaggeration. I wasn't 100% positive, which is absurd to even think of. So, yeah, I think the Thunder will win, and I think we might be on the precipice of like 4 to the next 10 going to the Thunder.
Okay, let's go back to the NHL, one that we definitely care about for sure. Tomorrow, Carolina Hurricanes on the road, down 2-0 in this series to the Florida Panthers. Carolina on the money line, plus 125. Florida at home at minus 145.
Dennis, you give your pick. I'm going to eat some ice cream.
Okay, you go ahead and give your ice cream. I think Carolina comes out with a little bit of a different energy than we saw because they realize, hey, you know what? We got away from our identity. We got away from who we are.
I thought they would do that in game 2, by the way.
I thought they were too, but you know what? They pressed a little bit too much and they got behind early. I think Carolina is going to be much tighter defensively in this game. I think they're still going to try and do their puck possession and what they do, but I think they're going to be much tighter defensively in this game. And I think this is the one. You got to have it. You got to have at least one this weekend. Tomorrow, to me, has to be it. Go get one tomorrow. I'm going to say the Carolina Hurricanes in a low-scoring game. 3-2 low-scoring game. Here's something to keep in mind about the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers are 7-2 on the road this postseason.
Sheesh.
They're 3-3 at home. 3-3 at home. They were up 3-2 with the chance to clinch the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs back in round 2 of the playoffs. At home, Game 6, chance to clinch at home. They lost 2-0. Keep that in mind. They can be got at home.
I was not wrong with my prediction of 3-1 Canes in game. I was early. 3-1 Canes, game 3. I mean, with every game where they give up a bunch, I'm less confident in it, but I'm not getting off the train now.
Okay.
Big day from whoever's in goal. Not even sure who it's going to be, but it's got to be a big day from whoever's in goal.
Which, by the way, we haven't really talked about potential lineup changes. I know we talked about Scott Morrow obviously being in for Jalen Chatfield. We don't know if Sean Walker's going to play. Does Alexander Nikishin now step into the lineup? But
Kotkaniemi was out last game.
Kotkaniemi was out as a healthy scratch. Do we see a lineup change? I mean, Jackson Blake had a rough day. Like, I'm curious if there's going to be someone inserted to the lineup that we haven't seen in terms of does Tyson Jost get thrown in there? Like, hey, we need something. You know, does Kotkaniemi get back in the lineup? And in case, who's he in for? How are the lines going to look? There's a lot of shuffling. There's a lot of decisions Rod and that coaching staff has to make between now and tomorrow night.
Jankowski, Robinson, Jost is a third or fourth line. Could help with a little bit of ferocity.
Yeah,
if that's what you're looking for. First goal scorer. It could be our last one of the year. I hope it's not, but it could be.
First goal scorer tomorrow. Give me Stankoven in the first.
Aho in the first.
Yeah.
Aho in the first. It has to be. It has to be. To Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, from live outside Ting Stadium or inside Ting Stadium, home of the Holly Springs Salamanders ahead of their opener in a little over a half hour. It's been fun. Shout out to the Coastal Plains League and the Holly Springs Salamanders for for hosting us, I should say. They've done a great job, rolled out the red carpet. We really appreciate it. Come out and check it out for yourself. It's a great place to watch a game. Enjoy Overdrive coming up next. Until Tuesday, no show on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and